Looks like we're live. Hi, everyone. Hello. I hope we don't have any major buffering issues like we did last week. I did a speed check. The speed check is good, but I also have the door to the basement studio open so we can make sure we can get a clear straight line shot of the signal. So I hope we don't end up buffering. I was actually really surprised how bad it was when I did the replay. Ma Wilma's here. What the heck? Ma Wilma is here. Dang, I like that intro music, don't you guys? Anna Mae. What do you say? Anna Mae's gonna have a great day. Monet Kath is here. Oh, Dan's here. Whoa. Elvie, good morning. Thanks for coming to the live. Nicole, good morning. I know it's cold today, Nicole, so I gave you a jacket. From Mertz. Where's Pacquiao Mertz? Let me get on my my mouse here instead of the finger machine. Okay, I guess we're ready to go. What are we gonna do today? What are we gonna do today? Oh, let me fade this out. Let me see if I can fade this out. Yeah, I got it. I got my music on a computer over here on the others. I got two computers running. Yeah, that's a lousy fade, huh? All right, we did away with that. Let's see. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh yeah. I only have one of the computers plugged in to charge, so I got to move my my power cord over here to the laptop. All this technical stuff I have to worry about. All this technical stuff to do a live stream. I should switch over to my phone. If I switched over to my phone, though, I couldn't read the comments. Even I have 2 or 3 phones going here. I got two down here. Let's see. Just to keep an eye on things. I'm actually getting better and better at this as time goes by. As time goes by. All right, so let's see. What I wanted to start off talking about was the contest. I know. I should save it to the end of the stream, but every time I started talking about the contest, when I bet, let me start at the beginning. When I went and I checked last week's or Wednesday's live stream, every time I started to talk about the upcoming contest, I started buffering. I became blurry every time. It was almost like the message was not allowed to get out on Wednesday. It was turning blurry. My words were slurred. Oh, that's not because I drank too much alcohol that day. No. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. You know, Mako Cafe. Mayong buntag to all of my friends in the Philippines, especially in the Visayas region and the city of Baybay Leyte. Hey, it's always so much fun to run into people, you know, when you're in town doing your shopping. I just like to take a moment to say that I really, really enjoy living in the city of Baybay. And I ran into, so the day before, a couple of days before, ran into Mel. And she stopped by to say hello. You know, I was keeping court at the Dunkin'. And then yesterday, I was over at the pharmacy picking up a few necessities, and then ran into Des. And it's always so nice. Des has such a cute baby. Des has such a cute baby. I really enjoy running into folks. Thanks for sharing, Mabel Torres. I really appreciate that. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you guys here this morning. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all being here, and for showing up on Wednesday. I thought, Wednesday, who's gonna show up on Wednesday? And I want to say hi to all my friends around the world, and especially those stuck in the inclement weather, shall we say, in the United States. No matter where you are, coast to coast around the world. This is Dan broadcasting live from Baybay City Leyte in the Philippines. Yay! Good day, good evening, and good morning all the way around the world. Wherever my voice might be heard. wherever, wherever you may hear my laugh. This is Dan coming to you live from the Philippines. Yay! Oh, wait a minute. I think I have an applause soundtrack, but I messed up on that, didn't I? Yeah. Let me just tickle my applause. Let me just tickle my my applause. Oh, I don't know. It won't let me. Yeah, something went sideways on this. Oh, let me try it again. Whoa. Whoa. Ooh. What? You're watching on the TV? Oh, that's comfortable, Larry. Are you eating your dinner? Did you get your supper made? All right, so a round of applause for Larry Lee. Yeah, you guys know I'm just fooling around, right? I just wanted to see if the thing worked. Yeah. Thank you so much. You also, Anna Mae, Mawelma, thanks for being here. That hat, oh my gosh. In all my haste to make sure that everything was settled and okay, I forgot to put on the hat. Thank you so much for reminding me, Mawelma. You've got my back. You've always got my back. Yes. Yeah, it is a nice beat. You know, it is. It's fun. It's fun. It's got that nice crescendo, you know, and the what do they call that when you do the drum thing? The pop, 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 pop. You know, it's got all the things in there. Oh, I got an itch back here. The ants have been attacking me. You know, ants get in this house, and I don't know where they're coming in from, but Mertz is sleeping. Yeah, last night she said, "Oh, oi." She said, "Oi, go, make sure you're at Dan's live stream, 7:00 in the morning. Oi." Most of you probably will be sleeping. If you're not too sleepy, get up and watch Dan's live stream. 7 a.m. in the Philippines. Hey, how are you, my favorite friend? Thanks for coming. Lexia. That's very clever. That's very clever. That your name. Yeah. And anime, of course, my favorite. Go to when I have relationship issues. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally at a loss. Let's see. Oh, just on the background, Uncle. Lazy type feels sleepy. Okay, yeah. Go back to sleep. Get rest. But don't go away. Do not turn off your device. As a matter of fact, turn all the devices on in the house to Dan's channel. Get some fake views in there. Absolutely. So Lexia Vlog is in the house. Larry Lee. Let me see. Let me catch up on moderations here. Yeah, I know. Moderators. I said moderation. Everything in moderation. Let me catch up on. I don't know all the changes to YouTube and the standard this and expert that. I don't understand how the little thing works. I'm low tech Dan, you know, and you know what that means. I'm not just low tech. I have to take an elevator to get to the first floor. That's why I'm here in the basement broadcasting booth, located high atop the Hotel California. Where does this stuff come from, you know? Yes, I know. I'm full of it. All right, let's see what we're going to talk about. Oh, yeah, the contest. So thanks for sharing, Minge. All right, the contest. So every time I start talking about the contest, right, I realized that I was being glitched out, almost like there was a gremlin in my computer or a gremlin inside the StreamYard. So I hope that doesn't happen today as I start talking about the contest. So this contest, the contest rules are very simple. Annie MC's in the house. Thanks for coming to the live. It's very simple, just like me. The contest rules are very simple. Oh, wait. I may have a laugh track in there. If you wouldn't mind, give me a moment to see if I could find. My laugh track is too loud. Let me lower this thing a little bit. Volume control. That's the key here. Volume control. All right, so the contest. Let's get on with the contest. So the contest is all about is I'm looking for a new channel name, and the one that I select is going to win 5K Pesos GCASH on the spot. So, but we won't award that until the last live stream that we have in March. The very last live stream, because, I need time to ponder. I need time to ponder the new channel name. So Dan's retirement journey is going away. Dan and Minnie, of course, we still plan on traveling and all that. So it's still a journey, right? It's still a journey, but we want to shorten the channel name. It was a suggestion many years ago that have I been doing this for many years? Yeah, many years ago. It was actually Filipina Raquel that suggested. She was very nice. Filipina Raquel was very nice in the way she politely suggested that, you need to revamp that name there, sir, because it's too difficult to search. And when you start a new channel, right, you're getting going and stuff like that. It is difficult because you have to work your way up into the Google search, right? In other words, your name oftentimes does not come up all the time. So that means that until you start getting active in that search engine, right? Let me see. Then it's hard to find your name. Well, anyway, I stuck with it, and I think that I've noticed that most people who get that suggestion about, oh, maybe you should change your channel name, like what's it called, Tharish Times. Yeah, that was funny. When a very famous YouTube blogger said, "Hey, Tharish Times, what the hell is that?" Have you ever considered changing your channel name? Listen. That's the thing that everybody wants to hear when they start a YouTube channel, right? Change your channel name. It won't work. And so some people do it on their own, like Larry Lee, realized that, people weren't able to find them. And if you wanted people to find him, because every time you put Larry Lee's name in there, some cartoon character came up. But yeah, I guess there's a cartoon character and his name is Larry Lee, right? So, and there are 1.5 million people in the world whose name is Larry Lee. Yeah, so anyway, Larry found himself to add a little bit something to the name. And I know I didn't tell the whole story, didn't tell it correctly, because you know how I am. But hence, we have an easy to search for name, which is Lazy Larry Lee. That's the bottom line. The most important thing is not the story, the whole story. The most important thing is that Larry saw on his own that he was going to have to change his channel name because people were finding, it was difficult to find him. We'd search, and it wasn't easy finding Lazy Larry's channel. Yeah, Lazy Larry, that was it. Lazy Larry was the original name, yeah. Okay, good morning, Tim. How are you, Tim, from Pampanga? How is everything? How's the weather in Pampanga? And Pumpkin Joe's here, the Pumpkin Joe Experience. Hey, I've watched Pumpkin Joe. I like Pumpkin Joe's channel. For sure. Hey, Pumpkin Joe, have we met? And Sir Luke is here. Sir Luke is here. I like Sir Luke. Sir Luke is now a standard moderator. And let's see, Pumpkin Joe, are you already are you already blue? Pumpkin Joe? Because I missed you in here anyway. All right. So, that's the whole story. So you're going to have to come up with the channel name in all your brilliance because I have faith in you. Why don't you just go down to Mickey D's like everybody else, Larry? Don't worry. I'm going to get it down. I'm going to get using my computerized soundboard. I'm going to get used to it. You won't even know. You won't be able to tell that my finger is sliding over, trying to hit the button. See? There's the Pumpkin Joe's Philippine experience. Pumpkin Joe, did we meet? Have we met before? Didn't we meet on a yacht somewhere? Didn't we meet on a yacht in the middle of the ocean? Yeah. Anyway, you and your wife, you look very, very familiar to me. I'm just wondering. And I apologize because, my memory has shot, It's going quickly. My cognitive abilities. Anybody who watches this channel can tell that. Yeah. All right. Yes. Yes, indeed. All right. So let's talk more about the contest. So it's the channel name. So what you're going to do is all the live streams that I do, I'm going to start doing them on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I may add, this may become a live stream channel. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind that we might go 100% live stream. And then I'm going to start refocusing on doing shorts. Yeah, I'm wearing shorts, but I mean shorts, short videos. Because I noticed something about shorts. I wasn't expecting this to happen at all. I wasn't expecting this to happen at all. But apparently, some of you are just concentrating only on shorts, on doing shorts, because that's where the money is. That's where you're getting the majority of your views. So on a couple of channels I've gone in, I've looked for videos, and then I see videos are 3 weeks old, 4 weeks old, 8 weeks old. In other words, no new material in the last 8, 10, 12 months, right? Only to discover that you're putting shorts in, you're putting hella shorts in almost every day. Short. And those shorts are getting views. They're getting hella views, right? Like, for example, Larice Jusse's shorts. No. Not those shorts, Larice. Not those shorts. The other shorts. Your video shorts, Larice. Larice is here, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and socialite. Larice, it's always so nice to have you in the live. I cannot even imagine, a live going on without Larice not being present. Dan, I have my desktop on your channel, my TV, and my cell phone. Yay! Oh, that's both good news, Larry, and bad news. Michelle Ann is in the house. Hi, Michelle. Thanks so much for coming to the live. Anna May, what do you say? Let's all meet up after. I'll tell you what. After the live, we're all going to meet up at Tim's house for bacon and eggs. Yes, indeed. I'm starting to hear that Tim makes the best bacon and eggs in all of Pampanga. So, anyway. And Marianne Salongo is here. We have that name here in the States, Marianne. We have both your names, Marianne and Salonga. You have my name here in the Philippines. I'm Filipino. They have Herrera Street in Ermita, Manila. And somebody has told me that you have teachers I get messages. Dan, are you related to my teacher? Maybe. You know. And we have a teacher, Herrera, that comes to the house every once in a while and shares coffee and pandesal with us, which we appreciate. That's one of Minnie's older teachers. Not older. I meant to say old. I meant to say former. Man. Oh yes, I am red faced. I am definitely red faced. Let's see. I'm trying to keep up with the chat here. Trying to keep up, but you know it's going to be difficult. It always is difficult for me to keep up in the chat. Hey, knowing that you're there, that's the most important thing. Knowing that you're there, that you have me on every device in the house is important. You know, 4 phones, 5 phones. It's okay. You know, the new channel name is The Adventures of Dan and Minnie. That's kind of longer than Dan's Retirement Journey, Philippines Bound. The goal on the name is a shorter version, which communicates pretty much what we're doing, you know, which is nothing, just hanging around. So here's what you're going to do, Sir Luke. Sir Luke came up with a great name. I don't know if it exists or not. Thanks for sharing, Sir Luke. But now, if you haven't been to Sir Luke's channel, you need to head over there. Also, here's the thing. Sir Luke came up with a great channel name that deserves consideration. But Sir Luke, if I'm not mistaken, would like to share that name with the world, shall we say. And so the first person to grab that and put it in the chat or put it in the comment section, you know, we'll give you credit for it, because Sir Luke knows I'm trying to help out the people in the Philippines. And so this contest is focused more towards folks in the Philippines. But if someone else comes up with a great channel name and you have a PayPal account, some such thing, all's fair in love and war. I will convert that 5K pesos over to dollars. I've decided right now, since I'm sitting here, and you might be the recipient of the big money. But you have to comment in the comment section below. I'm sorry. I think initially I said the chat. You have to put it in the comment section so I can see the names and ponder them. I need to ponder them, and then I may consult Sir Luke or Larry Lee and say, hey, Larry, what do you think of this name? What do you think of this name? They might say, hey, I like the name. In which case, whoever came up with that name would be the winner of the contest. So it's very simple. Come up with a channel name, put it down there in the comment section, and that will allow me the opportunity to ponder it. Now, let's say that there's the possibility that 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 of you will come up with the same name. If that occurs and I like the name, I end up using it, I'll go back to see who the first person was that put it in the comment section. That's the importance of doing it this way. We have to have a way of tracking, you know, otherwise someone could say, like what's happening here in the States, where somebody's claiming that the lottery ticket, you know, $2 billion lottery ticket was sold, and was sold to them. It was later stolen, and they were the rightful owner of the ticket. And I guess, from what I understand, they filed a lawsuit against the person who collected the money. And I guess because they're able to, you know, form timelines and all kinds of stuff that shows that the possibility that it happened is higher, or the probability that it happened is higher than not. In other words, who would sue saying that a $2 billion lottery ticket belonged to them and was stolen, unless you could put together a timeline and some evidence to support that actually occurred? And so, I mean, that's an interesting thing. So in this case, of course, $2 billion aren't involved. It's a 5K peso payout, but we'll have to track, who came up with the name first, and that would be the person that I would go to that said that. Where if I use the name, I would say, okay, you are the hands down winner. All right. So, any questions? Let's move on, move on, move on, move on. What does Larry say? Dan, I put in Lazy Larry. That's when the cartoon came out. That's right. It was Lazy Larry. That's right. And it makes sense. Lazy Larry sounds like the name of a cartoon character. No offense, Lazy Larry. So, Lazy Larry gave himself, a Lee at the end of it, and it worked out just fine. Yeah, afraid we've never met in person before, though. Okay, but we will, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, because we meet a lot of people in our travels, and I just want to make sure I acknowledge if I've met you or not, and just I may have forgotten. I thought for sure that we shared a cup of coffee on one of those fast ferries sometime, but I guess not. I guess that was somebody else. Okay, so now, but I know I have been to your channel a few times. I know that maybe that's where that recall is coming from. Let's see. We island hopped a lot before having kids then, usually by ferry between Cebu, Negros, and Mindanao. Well, we would have remembered each other because how expats, how we actually run into each other. Expats, they gravitate towards each other, even if either party doesn't want to. They seem to always end up, standing there in the snack line, grabbing that 3-in-1 coffee, right? Yeah. So that's happened to me many, many times on those ferries going between like Cebu and Bye Bye Leyte and the like. But mostly it would have been a ferry going from like Cebu, from Ormoc to Cebu. But I've decided that here on out, I'm taking the slow ferry. I'm taking the slow ferry across, the water to Cebu from now on, because we have the slow ferry. We have the Lapu Lapu parked right out here in the port, 15-minute walk from where we live. For crying out loud, it seems ridiculous to take a 45-minute to 1-hour bus ride to Ormoc just to catch a fast ferry, so you save 2 hours. It doesn't make sense. I'd much rather be on one of those bunks on preferably the bottom bunk on the Lapu Lapu, and with Ma'am Minnie, yes, on top of me. Bunks. We're talking about bunk beds here. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. Anywho, so it's going to be the Lapu Lapu. I think they have service 5 days or 7 days a week now. Before, during the global experience, shall we say, they were only offering, when they restarted up, they were only offering service 3 days a week. We used to have the Roble here. The reason why I like the Roble so much is because the Roble, or the Roble, however you say the name, you had the private cabin that you could rent. And so long as nobody rented the private cabin by the time you got there, then you were good to go. You got the private cabin, which is, they're remodeling it right now, but it has TV, the new setup's going to have internet, cable TV. It's got its own CR, a nice, comfortable double bed. Very, very comfortable way of traveling, in my opinion. That used to be parked here in Bye Bye City Leyte, but they moved it to Ormoc. And we've taken it once so far on our way to Cebu, but it's hardly worth it. I'd rather just, instead of taking that 45 or 1-hour ride north to Ormoc, I would rather just, take the Lapu Lapu and get a bunk bed. Good morning, Des. You have such a cute baby. I enjoy running into you and your baby. She's so cute. I'm not first. Just woke up with that. Larry's, what are you doing? I told you to stay away from the Emporador, or whatever it's called. No more brandy wine for you, Larice. No more brandy wine for you. But it must have been one hell of a party. Thanks so much, Des. I really, really, truly appreciate you being here. Okay, you're still busy making breakfast. All right. Hey, you got any eggs? Eggs are expensive here. I know people have told me they're paying hella money for eggs in the States. I heard that. I heard that. I believe that. But they're expensive here also. Hey, Jake. Oh, wait. Is it Jack or Jake? Jack. Jack, is this your first time here? Hello, host, watching from Bacolod City. Oh yeah, I want to go there someday. I don't know much about it except what I've seen in YouTube. You know, what I've seen in YouTube is all I have to go by. And so, do you have a YouTube channel? I would presume. So I'll look you up. I'll look you up. I'll subscribe. Follow your journey, my friend. Follow your journey. Yes, indeed. Dan, if you want bacon and eggs, you'll need to go to Denny's restaurant, SM Clark. Is it open? Tim, is it open? Because I want a Grand Slam breakfast, an American Grand Slam, where I can have bacon and eggs and the whole thing. Yeah. So let's see. So now you guys, do you have any questions? Oh, thanks, Luke. Do you have any questions about the contest? The contest. I could tell you that Dan's PI guide. I could tell you, oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. PI is the way to go. See, so I've been thinking about that, right? I've been thinking about shortening it, but other than people in the Philippines, who would know that people refer to the Philippines, as they shorten the name, usually the PI or PH, right? And so who would know unless you were in the Philippines or you were in the military or something like that. Duncan Dans. Hey, you put an apostrophe S on there. That sounds pretty good. Duncan Dans. Man, Duncan Dans channel. Yeah. Coffee chat with Duncan Dan. You have all the bases covered. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I may have talked about last week. In fact, I am joking because I know I talked about the McDonald's coming to the Philippines. So coming to Bye Bye See You Later. Of course, McDonald's is all over the place. I think they have something like 3 McDonald's already in Ormoc, 45 minutes to the north. Now, I could totally see myself. I talked about taking the slow ferry, the Lapu-Lapu, over to Cebu. But I'm telling you, I think nothing about taking a 45 minute or 1 hour bus ride to Ormoc in order to get a decent pizza, because we just don't have decent pizza here. Now, Mini Snow, hi Mini Snow. Now, way back, hey, pizza is kind of. I was looking at pizza recipes, right? And so to see if I can get away with making my own handmade pizza, which probably is a lot. I could probably crank out a handmade pizza quicker than I can take a bus to Ormoc to the Shakey's. But I don't know. I'm a baker by trade. That's one of my experiences in my young adult life. Mel is here. Hi, Mel. Melanie is here from Bye Bye See You Later. Yeah, we'll meet you later at the Dunkin'. Des and Mel, if you guys want to come on by, donuts and coffee are on me. You shouldn't be shy. Just come in. Just come in, and I'll bust out my wallet for you. That's all. It's simple. Simple, Come in, get coffee, get donut, take some home to the kids. I will pay. Oh, good morning. Thank you for sharing Crystal's adventure. Yeah. Did you say you named the elephant, Crystals? Did you give a name to the Thai dwarf elephant? You know, Shorty or something like that? I'm just asking if you gave it. I mean, Shorty would be the Shorty, something like that, you know? I don't know. Yeah. I didn't have to reach very far for that name anyway. Just curious. Oh, yeah. Oh, so Jack, I have seen you once or twice now that I think about it, hanging around in the chat in the live streams and the videos and well, I think most of the live streams, right, of other very well known YouTubers like Mel and Des. And Menge's still here. Thank you so much for being here. Rona Cease. I love the name. I love the name. I can't really tell you why. I think because there was an American talk show host or moderator whose name was Rona. Tim probably would remember. Somebody from the States probably would remember the name Rona, but is it Rona? Did I say it right or is it Rana? Now, if it's Rana, hey, I'm out. But if it's Rona, if it's Rona, you have my attention for sure, right? Dan's retirement journey, Philippines bound. Philippines bound, but Dan needs a new channel name. So for all of you join in and you wanted contest rules, very, very simple. We're looking for a new channel name. You see, here's Filipina Raquel. So years ago, Filipina Raquel will remember this. She says, Dan, you know, you're a nice guy and all that, but you ever think about changing your channel name? Because it's too damn long. Hard to search for, Dan. It's hard to search for. And so I've come full circle now from that first suggestion that was made by many people, but first by Filipina Raquel, that we change the channel name to something much simpler. Yes, yes. Even though as the world becomes more complicated, Dan he becomes a little simpler, you know, simple-minded, that is. And so I said, I think at the time I had told Filipina Raquel, of course, we're going to consider it. And of course, I moved kind of slow, kind of like a sloth. I moved kind of like a sloth. And so that slow movement has caused me to come to the conclusion that maybe perhaps the time is right. Do you see how I did that? Maybe perhaps the time is right in order to change the channel name, especially as I consider, you know, changing the format just a little bit. You know, I'm playing around with the idea of becoming a daily live streamer. I've added Wednesday, you know, Wednesdays. I'm not giving up on videos. Heck no. But I'm gonna space it out a little bit more, you know. I'm gonna give it more time in order to get views. And I talked about how, oh, you know, I could be a bottom feeder and go ahead and go in there and start interviewing Filipinas in skimpy bikinis, you know, but I don't think any of the women in this chat would be interested in seeing that unless you were the one wearing the bikini, I suppose. But anyway. So anyway, I've decided that best thing to do here is to take advantage of my demographic, the people that are going to be the powerhouses of the economic growth that's going to occur, that is occurring in the Philippines, and that would be the Filipinas that are in this chat. You guys are foundational, and I'll be relying upon you to grow this channel. Therefore, it has come to my brain that I should have a contest that you can take advantage of, the opportunity to win 5K GCASH, by coming up with a new channel name for me. And if I select that name, then you win the 5K pesos, which I'll send to your PayPal or your GCash account on the last day that I announce the winner, the last stream in the month of March, that I announce the winner. Right at that moment, I'll be firing off 5K pesos in GCash, and that ought to be good for doing something, right? That'd be good for paying the rent, you know, Mabel, for paying the rent in April. So if I send it the last live stream in March, you'll have rent money to pay for April. And if you've already paid the rent for April, then you'll have a little bit for to buy some supplies, for the month of April. You got to eat, right? Folks have to eat. And so so very simple rules. All you have to do is enter your suggested name in the chat. If I get more than one suggestion, I end up using the name. I'll go back to see when it first appeared. I mean, not in the chat, in the comment section of the live stream video. I'll go back to comments. I'll look to see where the name first appeared, because it's possible that one or two of you may come up with the same name. Shailene Reese is in the house. Hi there. Michelle is here. Thanks so much for coming to the live. I truly appreciate you guys being here. You guys are so wonderful. And so the channel is going to be, I already started to get it to turn a little bit, in that, I'm starting to direct it towards things that Filipinas would be interested in hearing about. We'll be talking about relationship things. We'll be talking about things that have to do with, all things Filipina. That's the main objective of the new channel. When I go around, I've been paying attention. I go around, I lurk in just about every channel, right? That every person that's here, I'll be looking at what you're doing, and I'll go, yeah, I think that the model that a lot of you have adopted is solid. It works. It's proven that it works. And that is that when you get sponsorships and you go out there and you offer contests for other Filipinos to win, have a chance and opportunity to win money. I mean, for crying out loud, and improve their lives, how can you possibly lose with that idea? And so I'm not planning on doing that exactly. But what I'm planning on doing is having discussions about issues that affect Filipinas, things that they're struggling with, their struggles, because they are the economic powerhouse of the Philippines. They're the economic powerhouse. And so I started turning the channel that direction, if you haven't noticed. I think mostly folks have noticed that. It doesn't mean that we're not talking about, American Filipina issues, what everybody else in the world is talking about. Emmeline is now monetized, guys. She is now resting her channel today until she's fully done the step 3, as it is in progress for now. Wow, congratulations, Emmeline. That is fantastic news. Yeah. I'm going to have to send her a little message, Yeah, it took me a year to figure out. Yeah, of all things, right, Jack? Of all things, calling a bathroom, in the Philippines, a comfort room. That's brilliant, right? And so now people all over the world, they say, yeah, another reason to travel to the Philippines is they have comfort rooms. Listen, they're smart in the Philippines. They're very, very smart, right? Comfort rooms, right? As opposed to Japan or other places who have, well, quite frankly, they just have, a hole in the ground, and they don't have any fancy name for it. Listen, that's brilliant. You know what? It's brilliant and it's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. So anyway, uh, so Jack is right. Yep, Jack is right. Congratulations to Emily. I know. I have a feeling most of you here, you're already hooked up with Emily. No, no, not in a biblical way. I mean, you're already subscribers to Emily's channel. But if you haven't subscribed, yeah, go ahead and head down there and then subscribe. So, okay, so what I want to talk about today. Okay, so last week we talked about a few things, right? Yeah, and I got some interesting comments. In fact, I just want to say that some of the comments were so sweet that I had, and they were so heartfelt and sincere that I had tears coming down my eyes. Really, this is why no matter what happens, it's not about for me monetization, right? It's not about any of the stuff. It's about uh, sharing of information to the folks that I think are going to be the number one economic powerhouse in the world, and that's coming straight from the Philippines. It's going to be the strength of the Filipina. The strength of the Filipina is how the Philippines is going to is economically emerging into a global super powerhouse, and it's going to all happen before our very eyes. And most of you are young. Most of you are young enough that you're going to be able to see the whole thing develop, and it's all going to take place before 2030 or 2035. I see it coming. Of course, I am a genius, but I mean I see it not in academics. No, no. If you're a keen observer of the human condition and you pay attention, to if you pay attention to what's going on in the world, then you're going to know that the Philippines is going to become an economic powerhouse. It's not going to take but a few short years. Now that Starlink is available in the Philippines, that is huge contributor to the growth. And Tim is going to be a granddaddy. Oh yeah, yeah. The baby is going to be born any minute. Yeah, that's right. I remember you saying. Pizza's terrible. I know, Jack. I know. And people have said, Dan, do something about this. We know you used to bake in the olden days. Do something about this. Well, I have been thinking a lot about it. I really have. I got room to build a brick oven. I could build a brick oven. And, here in the Philippines, the thing that's puzzling about what goes on here in the Philippines is that all the items that you need that are necessary to make, especially pizzas, they got here, right, Jack? They got them here, Jack. And then yet I have to go into these pizza places where they're using pre-made pizza shells, that are frozen, that you get over at the Metro Mark or the SNR, and they throw whatever kind of crap that they have lying around on top of that pizza. Folks, the cheese that they put on the pizza is not real cheese. I don't know what it is. But I cannot stand it. I can't eat it any longer. I love traditional Filipino food, by the way. But pizza, I don't believe, is a Filipino traditional food. And so I think I've got to do something about that. I really do, Oh, whoa, look who's here. Hey, Larry Lee.
Hello.
Hey, Larry Lee, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a pizza in the Philippines?
No.
You never want to try it. You never try it unless you have to go to the chain stores in order to get a decent pizza. But if you try going into some local store that sells pizza, like we have pizza shops here in Bye City, you're taking your life into your own hands by eating one of them pizzas. You never want to do it. You never want to do it. So I've been trying to figure out a way. Do I actually? Well, because we talked about it on your channel, on your live. we talked with Mac Daddy, and Mac Daddy is so into the food thing that I want to hire Mac Daddy as a consultant for me, and I want to build an outdoor pizza oven, and and since Mac Daddy knows the ingredients that are available here in the Philippines, I want to consult with Mac Daddy to come up with pizza ideas, and then I'll do all delivery. I'll do Panda. I'll do we'll make the pizzas right here in the front yard. What do you think of that idea?
I think that would be the best because you're like you said, you're doing it at your house. I don't know if
Yeah.
like you would have places for people to sit. And do
Right,
you really
right.
want them to come to the house and pick it up? So I think delivery
Well,
would be the best way to go.
delivery is the way to do it, right? Because no
yeah.
one would know really that I'm doing it except the delivery drivers.
And you put the business in your wife or your her family's name.
Yeah.
You're not, as long as they own most of the business, it's legal.
Right, right. No, that's the way we do it. That's the way we do it. So I'm going to start playing around with pizza dough. That didn't exactly come out right.
And how you doing?
Tim is here. Hey, Tim. Tim is waiting for his driver's baby to be born, I guess. And yeah, well, actually, there isn't very much room by the time I make it over to the Dunkin'. Usually, it's packed. It's packed full of expats waiting in line for their cup of coffee and their bunwich. There's a little breakfast sandwich there they call a bunwich, right? And it's anyway, it's a little bun that tastes very tasty, and it's got ham and cheese in there, real ham and cheese. Very tasty.
Is that a steam bun?
It's actually toasted in a toaster.
Okay.
Hey, Jack is here. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, and
Jack,
pretty good.
I want to acknowledge
I'm Lazy Larry.
Lazy Larry?
Yeah, I'm Lazy Larry. I used to go when I first started my channel. I went by my real name, which is Larry Lee, and I was in a live chat a lot. And there was like 4 Larrys. One was Larry B, one was Larry G, and I'm Larry Lee. So I switched my channel name to Lazy Larry. And then once I started videoing and doing vlogs and stuff, people were telling me they are having a hard time finding me. So I checked, and they were right. You had to go through pages of Lazy Larry. They were cartoons. So I added my last name back to it, Lazy Larry Lee, and I'm the first one that pops up. And it fits me. I'm lazy.
Hey, I see Buddha. Buddha's here. Buddha. Yeah. Hey, Buddha. That's 5K pesos. That's right, Buddha. Hey, you want in on the contest? I'll let you in the contest, Buddha. Come up with a channel name. If I pick it, I'll send you 5K. That's 5K pesos. So when you make your trip over here to the Philippines, it'll be all available for you. There you go. All you have to do is come up with the name, and I select it. If you're the winner, winner, chicken dinner.
I was on another Filipinos live stream, and there was another Jack in there. I'm like, oh, this is confusing. I gotta go.
Now, Jack, are you in the Philippines? Or are you at back in the States, or you're in the Philippines? Where at?
Bacolod City.
Okay, now are you working there, or retired, or?
No, I'm just on a long vacation for 3 years.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
I've been in and out for about 8 years.
Okay, it's been many years since I've been in the Philippines. I was there in the Navy, and I enjoyed the Philippines when I was there, and I had a lot of fellow shipmates that were actually in my division that were Filipinos, and got along well with them. And so I actually really enjoy the atmosphere, but I'm stuck in the States right now. That's a different story.
Hey, guys. Cali King is here from my old neighborhood. Cali King, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah. I saw him earlier and said hi to him.
Yeah, Cali King is from the old neighborhood, lived around the corner from me. We never met, when we were in Sacramento, California, but we live just a few blocks from each other. So
that happens.
I hear that it snowed, Cali King, in Sacramento. Is that true? Did it snow there for all of 2 minutes? Somebody told me. Yeah.
Hey, Dan, Dodger Blue said it snowed twice.
Really?
Yeah. He said, I don't think it lasted 10 minutes, but it snowed twice in one day.
Yeah, it didn't stick, but what the heck, right?
Yeah. So, oh, heck, we're supposed to be getting a snowstorm again tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the weather's so weird, but hey, it's weird here too. It's weird here in Leyte.
I was walking around, it was 41 degrees, and you got these puddles of water, all right? So now tonight it's supposed to drop down, get cold, and snow. Well, all that puddles of water are going to freeze. You're going to have snow on top of it. So, and these were around the cars. I took a short video and showed some of this, the water. And it's right at cars. So when people go out to get in their cars, they're going to have to be really careful tomorrow if they have to go out, because you're going to have snow covering up the ice.
Man, I'd just be staying in.
Well, I can't. But where I'm parked at, there's no water standing around my car. But I was down in the lower level. See, I'm up on the hill a little bit in my apartment complex, but down on the lower level area, they got water standing around some of the cars. They're not deep, but still, if they freeze, you step on it, you can fall and bust your backside. And I don't know about you, but I'm too old to be doing that.
Wow, problems that they wish they had here in the Philippines.
No,
so
they
Philippine
don't.
Hotel came up with a channel name. It's Dan and Minnie TV. This is the best channel for you, sir. Okay. Dan and Minnie TV. Minnie would like it. But you know what I'm afraid of? Here's what I'm afraid of. Once you start putting the women's in the videos, right? Once you start putting the women in there, then you know, I end up going to the background. You know what happens, guys. You know what happens. I end up in the background. It becomes
Minnie. We're all talking to her.
Yeah, it becomes Minnie's channel, and so you know, it becomes Minnie's channel, and then retired Dan has nothing to do. You know, that's the problem.
You can run the soundboard.
Yeah. Hey, Jack, so tell us about your experience. So you're on the 3-year plan, huh?
Yeah. I'm 3
so
years
that means you're what's that? Say it again.
I'm 3 years late for work.
Hey, so that means you're making those. That means you're making those visa runs down there to the visa office.
I got to get out of here in a couple months.
Oh, your 3 years is almost up, so you got to go out for a day.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna go back to work back in Michigan.
Go back to Michigan. Make some more money.
What part of Michigan, Jack?
Up by Flint.
Okay. I live in New York right now, but I'm originally from Indiana.
New York City.
South of Michigan by quite a bit. A little place called Terre Haute. And but yeah, I used to go up to Chicago some. And my sister used to go up to Windsor, Canada, which is right across the border from Michigan. She likes to gamble. This is my little sister. I have 4 sisters.
I've been there a couple times and lost some money.
Well, my little sister, I have 4 sisters. This is the youngest sister I got. Her and her husband both like to go gambling. She retired at 55 and then started working part-time. And that's her gambling money. And she's not even taking her Social Security yet. She's still under 62. And matter of fact, she'll be 62 this year. But I don't know if she's going to take it or wait longer. And then I got another sister who retired at 55, and she's in her 70s and hadn't worked a day since she turned 55.
Wow.
Well, the one sister my youngest sister, she worked for the government. She was a welfare caseworker. And then my sister that retired, that hasn't worked since she retired, she was a teamster. And she had 35 years in when she hit 55. and they weren't going to pay her a dime more if she worked anymore, so she was done. And she was always good with her money, unlike me. She was good with her money, and so she was able to survive till I don't think she took her Social Security until she hit 65. She just held off on it because she didn't need it.
I got a golf course out in Michigan, out by Flint.
Yeah.
18 holes, not bad. It's
Yeah.
cheaper to play there than to play here in the Philippines. I'm like, I don't understand it. There's a golf course in my subdivision here, and they're charging like $70 for 18 holes.
Holy smokes!
You get like 4 free beers, but
I would quit playing golf.
You have to have a driver and a caddy, and you got to pay for them.
It was $70 is outrageous.
Yeah, and my golf course is like $20 a round. Buy your own beer.
I haven't played golf in quite a few years, but I used to always walk the course. I have never driven a course. I've never ridden in a golf cart.
I've seen like some these two guys, like I think they're Chinese guys. They go to the golf course in Michigan, and they walk the course. They do like 36 rounds. They like play from like dusk to dawn. Like I can't play all day long like that. 18 holes, I'm done.
Well, I started at a 9-hole golf course, a par 3. And they eventually expanded it to 18 and, started having 4s and 5s. But it was, I paid for the season pass and I could go in and play 9 holes, 18 holes, 36 holes. Didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If I only wanted to play 27, I could. I mean, So, yeah, it was just, it was a blast. But I moved out here and none of my family or any of my good friends play golf. So I haven't played golf in years.
I ended up playing golf with this guy who's like 73 years old. And he's like, he didn't want to play, but he's like, I'll play this one. There's a par 3. It was an easy par 3. He hit the ball a hole in one. I'm done.
Like I said, I'm 69. I'm not a young man, but I always walk the course.
Hey, 69 is the new 50.
Hey, 69 is a good number.
Yep. Guess my age.
Wow, you look like
let's say I'm going to say 40.
Yeah, you look kind of young.
I'm going to go older than what I actually think you are. I'm going to say 40.
You're pretty close.
What, 35?
Oh, no. I wish I was.
Oh, then you're what, 43? If I'm close to 40, it's a little more up, 45.
41.
Still up? Well, you're under 50.
41. No, 40, huh? 41. 41.
All right. Yeah, 40 was real close. And actually, I think you look a little younger than that. I actually think you look a little younger.
You used to go to the party stores and get a cigarette.
That's why I wear a hat. See that?
I used to go to the party
I ain't taking off my hat. I ain't taking off my hat.
That's the longest my hair's been in a while.
I usually cut it off. Get carded.
Hey, maybe Sir Luke is the person to talk to about the pizza thing,
My ID's in the car. I'm like, I'm old. They're okay.
But they no longer doubt me when I say, I'm old.
It's interesting, Jack. My life didn't even get going until I was in my early 40s. When I got into my early 40s, everything changed. Everything changed.
I was in my mid 40s when I quit smoking. Oh, by the way, here in the States is March 3rd, right? It's 2 anniversaries for me. 24 years ago, I quit smoking on March 3rd. It was a Wednesday. That's my first Now, the first anniversary was 51 years ago. It was also a Friday. That's the day I was sworn into the Navy, active duty, and went off to boot camp. My 2 anniversaries on March 3rd. Not marriage, people. No. Just things that only mean something to me.
Hey, where's San Carlos? San Carlos is in Negros, right?
San Carlos.
Where's San Carlos at?
The very that'd be east of Negros Occidental.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's to the east. Okay, so you've done this before, huh, Jack? You've made pizza before.
Oh yeah, I used to work at like 5 different pizza places, pizzerias.
Yeah.
And then make pizza at my golf course, then come here and made my own here, and I raised the prices just a little bit just to try to make some money, and then
right.
Stop ordering because I'm like between like making nothing and the big chains here. So I was like right in the middle, and people stopped ordering, so I took my sign down, and they can rest.
Hey, Tim is making an interesting point. Tim here is saying real ham is very difficult to find in the Philippines. Why would that be?
Anna Flora, how you doing, Anna Flora?
They got pork everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They got pig everywhere. So why would cured ham is hard to find?
Facebook Marketplace, and people are just making up their own ham. I'm like, that is not ham. That's like canned luncheon meat. I'm like, that's not real ham.
Yeah, I saw that. I went looking for some the other day. I went looking for some cured ham the other day. Couldn't find any. It was all fake.
I can buy a cooked ham at Pure Gold here, and a friend of mine, he's a Filipino. Him and his friend, they make smoked ham. Pretty good stuff.
All right, I have to figure it out. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Hey, Larry, can I ask a question about?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember the psychologist, Dr. Tony Grant?
No, I don't.
You don't remember her being on the radio?
No, I never really listened to talk shows on the radio.
Ah. Not even Art Bell late at night? You seem like an Art Bell kind of guy.
No. If it wasn't music, I wasn't listening.
Oh, okay. So when you worked them night shifts, that's what used to keep you awake at night, huh?
I'd listen to music, or unless there was a sports on, then I'd watch sports. Sammy!
Sammy's in the house. Yeah. Woo!
Morning, Kuya.
Good morning, Sammy. What's up? How come you're hiding behind your thumbnail?
There's nothing up, Kuya.
It's early.
There's nothing up. Hello, everyone.
Oh, there you go. There you are. Anna Flora's here. Sammy's here. Seth is here. Yeah, Starbucks. I know you have a Starbucks in Dumaguete. I see it all the time. I saw it the other day when Sunshine Shoulders was talking about it. Wanted to go to Starbucks.
Morning, Kuya Tim.
Good morning.
I just wake up, Kuya. Sorry.
So you're hiding behind your bumblebee?
Yeah.
Is that a bumblebee or a honeybee?
Is that a honeybee?
What do you think?
You know what that you know what that honeybee brings to mind, don't you, Larry?
What's that?
The channel Beekeeping in Paradise.
Okay, yeah, Brent's channel.
Brent's channel, right? So it's not a joke. Brent comes walking into the Dunkin' the other day, right? We're sitting there, and we kind of like we're looking
Hey,
at
Robert.
we just looked at each other and froze, right? We were looking at each other, and I was thinking to myself, "Oh man, I'm just acting like a starstruck little kid, right?" And so Brent was, he looks over. He said, "We kind of look at each other, and like right away, I said, "Oh, I better introduce myself, right?" I said, "Hi, Dan." Dan's retirement journey. And he says, "Oh yeah." He goes, "I've watched your channel." He said, "I've watched your channel." Robert, how's it going? "I've watched your channel a few times, Dan, way back in the day when you first got started." Well, you know something? I don't know why, but Brent's channel, we talked about this briefly, but Brent's channel, he got views like crazy. Do you remember when he first started, Larry?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, right, the views started disappearing. And we talked about this. He has no idea. He has no idea why the views started to shrink. He's been trying to figure it out. He told me. What do you think?
I know that he does really long videos, so maybe if you
Right.
shorten them up, because a lot of I haven't watched one of these videos for a while because they were like a half hour or more sometimes. And
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The last one that
I would say if you're doing that all the time.
Sammy, don't get me started with the banana. Sammy, do not get me started.
And Flora, how you doing?
Checking for more.
Mini snow.
So, hey, Larry, thanks for that
Yes.
input because that was my idea also. So I'm going to share that with Brent. I'm going to share that. The videos were too long.
Yeah, they're getting like I said, I started following. I found him just before he moved to the Philippines.
Yeah.
At least the first video, he was just getting ready to move. The first video, I think he had already moved,
Right.
or just leaving. I mean, it might have been right, but I found the video he was talking about leaving, and then I followed him when he got to the States. And
Sammy, you should put your banana away. Really, ain't nobody wants to see that.
cover that sucker back up.
Hey, I encourage you. I encourage you to watch Brent's latest video. I think he did a premiere video on the car that he bought.
Okay.
Jack, do you own a car in the Philippines?
Nope.
Yeah, that's not even something. I mean, we've been talking about maybe a trike or something, or but I can't see myself driving a car unless it's the one that Brent bought. Brent bought that Suzuki car, the 3-cylinder, the 3-banger.
Is that the what they call the? I'm trying to think what they call them. They're like a little van truck like thing.
It's the hatchback. He's got a hatchback.
Okay. They got
he inspired me by that video. He inspired me. He went into detail about that car. We've been having this debate down at the Dunkin' talking about the cars, right? And so it's Toyota versus Suzuki. So you're separated into two groups, right? That Toyota.
Can I be in a third group? Neither one. They both cost too much.
Well, you got to buy them secondhand. I think he paid less than $6,000 American money for that.
Yeah, but you can buy a brand new scooter for $3,000.
Yeah, but I don't think you want. I need to have some meat around me.
Well, they got what do they call them? Tuck tanks or? It's like a 3-wheeler. You got a
yeah. See, that's what I've been looking at. I've been looking at that 3-wheeler thing that looks like it would do the job, and it's like $3,500. So I'm thinking, I don't know, but getting from that to that $6,000 mark, I don't know. Right now, I'm having a good time just riding the public transportation around.
Well,
I used to rent vans
Yeah.
One van is an 18-seater.
Yeah, those things they
Only one-
cram. I don't like them things because them drivers scare me. I'm telling you. You know,
I
I
would
going.
probably hire
drive them.
a
I
track and
drive
just
them.
pay for just me to be in it. It costs you
The,
more, but
the
it's just you.
the
Jack,
18
you were
passenger
saying?
van used to just sit right here for months on end. I'd rent it, I pay for it every day, well, up weekly. But
Yeah.
and if the owner needed to rent it out to somebody else, he'd drop off his little car, automatic. But the van, the NV 350, that was a stick shift. That thing was fast.
See, those vans. I'll tell you what. When I want to get to Ormoc fast, right? We get in one of them vans. But I got to tell you, it just scares the crap out of me. They drive like crazy. You know, I'm afraid that I don't want to lose my life that way. I'd rather lose it some other kind of way, but not like that. Not in a
Some
not in a rollover van crash. You know.
some motorcycle like undercut me when I'm trying to make a left turn,
Yeah.
and he flipped me off. I'm like, what? I'm
He
American. I got
flipped.
the road rage
Oh,
kicked in, flying. I'm getting rubber every time I shift.
oh, hell no. I talked to a guy. There's a guy we meet at the Dunkin' in the morning. His name's Hans from Norway. He was telling me it's so ridiculous, the close calls he had. He was telling me he's got a terrible problem with the road rage thing that don't play out too well in the Philippines, right? But he said the first time that one of these drivers cut him off and he went chasing after him, he said the guy started crying. They're not used to be they're not used to being challenged, on the road at all. People just kind of like shrug their shoulders and go on their merry way. They don't know nothing about this road rage thing.
Yeah, I caught up to the motorcycle like quick, and he took off the other way. And yeah, there you go. And my fiance, she was in the van, and she was scared and got mad at me for doing that. I'm like, you don't know where I come from.
We know though. We know every day is a new experience where you come from. Every day where I come from is a brand new experience. That's the reason for coming over here. The reason for coming over here is I don't want to dodge bullets in the middle of the night. I'd rather not do that anymore.
My last little stint here, I have not rented a vehicle. People just drive crazy. I'm like, man. Especially at nighttime, no headlights.
Even the buses, quite frankly. Even the buses are scary over here, but I feel safer in a bus. I'm probably not any safer in a bus than I am on a bike, but I feel safer, and that's important to me.
I'm going to say, unless you're around cliffs, steep drop-offs, you're probably safer in that bus.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to do that Baguio City trip again.
That's what I said. On that road there, I think you'd be safer on a bike.
See, honestly, here's the dilemma. I want to go up to Pangasinan and see crystals, right? Meet crystals. My wife and I want to go. But here's the thing. I know that if I go Pangasinan, you're halfway from Manila to Baguio City. And so you can't go to Pangasinan without going to Baguio, right? So I know I have to decide, right, what I'm going to do. Because I know if I go up and see crystals, I have to go to Baguio City. And so I keep delaying making that decision, but there's a whole bunch of people that Minnie and I want to meet, as we're going north, and of course, if we're anywhere in Manila, we got to meet Laurice, and we got to meet Mabel Torres, and we got to meet crystals, and we got to go to Baguio City. We got to hook up with everybody along the way. Filipina Raquel and Daisy Lynn Castro. I want to meet all of them. And I'm trying to organize this thing so that I can meet everybody on this one trip, right? But I'm telling you, it scares me, making that run up to Baguio City. So I know I could go to Pangasinan and then I could probably jump on a plane and I could go to Isabella, some other place, to meet Pinky Gray and some other YouTubers. But once you get that close to Baguio, it's almost a moral imperative that you have to go. Now, my first trip ever there, my main objective, my main reason for going, because I wanted to go to the famous Baguio City Market, right? Well, all that's out of my system. All that has changed. I get there and it's just like any other market. But now, since the last time I've been there, they got the university hospital, they got the fancy hotels, they got all those homes built into the side of a mountain, all of those rich people, movie stars that live up there. It's kind of like turned into the Beverly Hills of the Philippines. So I know I'm kind of like want to make the trip, and then I kind of like don't want to take my life into my own hands, by having two wheels go over the side of one of them cliffs.
That's what I said. On that, I think I would rather drive myself than take the bus.
Oh, I don't think you want to drive yourself, Larry, if you've ever been up there.
I'm just talking about the way I hear about those bus drivers.
Yeah.
I don't think I trust them.
No, well, the other side of the story is they've been doing that run for the majority of their life. I mean, they know it. Yes, even bus drivers, it's the most amazing thing. But if you talk to people, right, the driving on a route like that to Baguio from Manila, that's passed down generationally to their children. So you get a bus driver, right, and they'll start driving that run, and they'll do it for 20, 30 years. And then when they're all done, when it's mandatory retirement time, age 60, they had already trained their kid to do that bus run, so the kid has the job to do that bus run, So, I mean, it's amazing how things work in the Philippines. I kind of like them because it reminds me of the old days in the States where you used to have, a passing down of your skill sets from one generation to the next. So I kind of realized that, I'm probably overthinking it. Hi, Robert, how's it going? Hope all is well with you, sir. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that I should be trusting them because they know every crack in the pavement from Manila all the way north to Baguio City. That's the thing. So that's the other side of the story.
Yeah, can you take a helicopter ride up there?
Well, I'll tell you what. That would be the ideal way to go. That's my opinion. It would be very expensive, but if you ever flew in there, it would scare the daylights out of you also, because that plane has to stop on a dime. It has to swoop in there, swoop over a mountaintop in between two peaks, and land in a salad bowl. Yeah. I'm telling you, when you're looking out the window and you're seeing mountains on both sides of you and in front of you, and that somewhere around here is an airport, but you can't see it. And that bad boy comes in there and just goes, it just goes, lands on that short 10-foot runway. I don't think flying is the way to go either.
Yeah, you were saying that on I think it was my live stream. Might have been your live
stream,
but I think it was
my because stream. I think Mel Jean Salon or somebody did it. Somebody did that trip from Cebu.
Mel Jean Salon did it.
Yeah, from Cebu, right? That. She came in from Cebu. Yeah, and she flew straight in. I think that's the only route they're offering right now. They had to have so many flying hours training on those planes in order to get in there, where they felt confident that they could do that run 2 or 3 times a week. And so they had extensive training going in there, Yeah.
Well, as long as
before they would allow them to land in there. Huh?
As long as they're properly trained, I might be willing to go that way.
Oh man, my heart would come right out through my chest. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I can understand that too.
I'll tell you this: I have seen some fantastic landings of pilots where I was so impressed. I was thinking to myself, "Dang, these pilots are like cowboys, man." I mean, they're wild. I mean, for example, Calibo. Landing a plane in Calibo is no fun either. I mean, landing a jet into Calibo when you're on your way to Boracay, that is an experience that a person should have to have. But I mean, even if you took, I'll tell you where I might feel a little bit more confident. If you had a small, like Cessna 310 or something like that, and you were flying that in there, I might go. If you had like a small 6-passenger private plane landing into that airport in Baguio City, I might go. But to have that thing come in there and, you know, whoosh, land in a salad bowl, a jet, you know, like an Embraer jet or something like that, I just don't know. It scares me. And so I got issues I have to deal with, you know. I'm not in any hurry to leave this planet. I'm not afraid of leaving it, but I certainly
not in a hurry.
No. Yeah, I'm not in a hurry. You see, that's the whole thing. So what's your experience there, Jack? I think you're muted. Jack, what's your experience flying around here?
I came in, I forgot how many years ago, maybe 8 years ago, taking a little puddle jumper plane, little propeller plane.
Yeah.
A little 51-seater. And from Manila to this so-called international airport here in Bacolod, get ready to land, and then had to take back up, and then go back up because there was a plane on the ground, almost landing on another plane. Go around, then landing. He's got the tailwind is just like killer. Then couldn't land.
Man.
Had to do another go around, and finally just landed in a crab sideways on that little airport. I don't understand that airport. It's weird, but it's kind of scary when you're looking out the window because
that's what I'm saying.
You don't see any pavement. All you see is grass. I'm like, are we landing in a field?
All of a sudden, the runway appears out of nowhere. You know,
right.
You can't even see it from the air, and then all of a sudden, it appears out of nowhere. You're coming across what looks like a rice paddy, right? And then all of a sudden, boom! You know, there you have airport, right?
Mm-hmm. And then
yeah,
on the way home here, it's like, oh my god, it's like there's no speed limit apparently. Everybody is driving like 100 miles an hour both ways, and there's always crashes every day. I'm like, I just want to get home at a safe rate of speed, please. I don't live
That's right.
far from the
That's right.
The airport.
Tox is here. Tox. Good morning, Tox.
Airplanes fly right over my house to land.
Right now they do?
Oh yeah.
What kind of altitude are they at when they hit your house? When they come in your house? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say the word hit.
Oh, never hit my house yet. I hope not. It is a 2-story, but maybe 1,000 feet above my house.
Wow, dang.
That's close enough.
That's close enough. So
closer than I want.
When Ma'am Minnie and I, when we were living in Sacramento, this is what would happen. So I didn't know when we got this house. People in the rich neighborhood in El Dorado Hills are always complaining, saying, "Hey, you got those planes coming out of, Sacramento Airport, and they do that short run into Mather Field." I think they were talking about the UPS planes, and they were talking about FedEx. Right, they would all they would do is just climb up out of Sacramento Airport, and Mather Airport is only something like 25 miles from there. They would actually launch a plane to mule goods, so they wouldn't even get. I can't imagine they'd even get a few thousand feet of altitude when they'd already be making their descent into the other airport, and so. What would happen was that, so then they complained and they said, you better reroute those planes. And so they rerouted them over my neighborhood, of course. the people who aren't going to be complaining, right?
Or
we're
people that
too
don't
poor.
care if they complained.
Yeah, they don't care if we complain, right? We're too poor, so they don't give us any love. And so every day, every day, same time. There goes the FedEx plane. There goes the next one. There goes the UPS plane. But honestly, I mean, this would only happen. You'd have air traffic for only about an hour during the day, during that early morning hours where they were moving freight. And then after that, nothing, right? So the rich folks in El Dorado Hills or Cameron Park, wherever it was they were complaining, they get relief, and they route them over the top of my roof. So they'd only be probably about 1,000 feet in the air by the time they hit. They climb pretty fast. I don't know if you've ever watched those, 737s or some of them were 747s converted to Freightliners. They launch them fast. I mean, they're going almost straight up. I mean, they're going they're gaining altitude. You're at 1,000 feet in, gosh, it seems like a minute, you're at 1,000 feet. So they couldn't be any more. I would say they couldn't have been
747 Dreamlifter.
Yeah, they fly them just like their fighter jets. I mean, they just go like this, just straight up. And they gain altitude really quickly. And no sooner they were I can't imagine they were any higher than 5,000 feet. Then they would be making their descent into the next airport.
It's like my tickets when I come from Manila to Bacolod City. It's like 45 minutes. I'm like, nope. That's to be about at least no longer than a half hour. We don't get to cruising altitude, and
you never get up there, huh? And then you're already descending. There was a time. So I was there in the Philippines. I can't remember the exact year, but it's when the economy was really screaming. I mean, they had like 9% growth rate, and they were offering inexpensive plane service anywhere you'd want to go. So remember how in the olden days, right? In the olden days, if you wanted to get to anywhere, you used to have to fly back to Manila, and then everything was in Manila. You'd have to, let's say you were in Cebu, and you wanted to get to Bohol. You would have to fly from Cebu to Manila, and then Manila to Bohol. That's how you'd have to get there. Well, I was there at a time when they were expanding plane route service, and they had competition there. You'd be able to get you'd be able to fly in a circle and land in just about from point A to point B anywhere in the Philippine island. Anywhere in those island chain, you can fly from it. And now all that is gone. All that is gone due to the global situation caused everybody to pull back their horns. You'd have economy airline companies moving in there, Air Asia, and everybody was coming in there. They were offering $30 flights. And so the year, I can't remember the exact year I was there, I was able to make a big circle from Bangkok, Thailand. I came into Clark Field, stayed in Pampanga for a week or so, grabbed another plane, went down to Cebu, went down to Bohol, went and make my way up all the way over the other side of the coast, and all on on discount airlines that were flying. I think at the time they probably were flying 727, something like that. But they were going into every airport and every make-believe airport in the Philippines, $30 a flight, and so it was. I was amazed that you could do it. I was amazed that the Philippine would allow it. And I was thinking to myself, man, this is the greatest place on the planet. This place is the place to be, and then all of a sudden everything changed,
One time I flew from Detroit to LAX. On the way here, LAX took it was an Airbus A380.
Right.
It was a quarter full.
It's the okay hand. They're coming inside to
It was basically empty. I got my window seat, and there was a guy next to me.
Tell Mimi hi.
I'm like, I'm waiting for him to like figure out like, go find your own row, bro. So I could lay down here and have my own row. It took him about 3 hours to figure it out. And then he found his own row to lay down in. So I could lay down and get my head bumped with the cart when it comes down there.
Yeah.
It was
Noise in the background that you guys may hear. I got the crew here. They're working on those. They're continuing working on the vents.
Coffee.
So, oh yeah, coffee. They say
Coffee,
hi.
please, Sir Dan.
They say hi. Coffee.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
May I have
Good.
May I have some more, please?
Tell him no, man. He's had enough.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the crews, they're trying to vent the roof a little bit better because it's been cool here, but now we're going into the hot season, right? And so we just want to make sure that we don't burn up those air conditioning units, by.
This is
Oh,
the
thank you so much.
last
This is the last
coffee.
one. Okay, thank you so
Okay,
much.
guys. Have
Thank
a
you.
good day.
Bye, Miss
Thank you,
Mammy.
man.
Bye.
My aircon
She's
and my battery
she's supervising the crew right now, so
She's too
they're gonna
nice
be
to
up-
you.
they're going to be up overhead in the attic doing some roof work. So anyway,
She's too
my
nice to you,
aircon
Dan.
runs 24/7.
yeah. Oh my gosh, a 380. Hey, 380. I have yet to fly that plane. They say that is a beautiful plane.
Oh,
380.
nice.
Yeah, they say that 380 was that there are very few airports in the world that can take that plane, but just so happens they could land that bad boy in Cebu and Manila and different places, right, with runway left over. But Mactan International, man, that runway is so long. It's hard for me to even get a handle on that. They had that accident, where the plane went off the runway. But when I looked at the videotape, I was going, well, no wonder this happened. That plane coming in for landing. What was it? Singapore Airline? What was it? Who overran the runway in Cebu in that plane? Was it a 380? Anyway, that bad boy come off. They used half the runway up flying over the top of it. That pilot did not get that thing down. That thing was it kept going. And that was the problem. That pilot should have done a go around, instead of trying to land that plane right there on that runway. So I mean, it was. If I were that pilot, I'd never fly again. It was embarrassing. It really was.
If a pilot was flying a A380 and try to land here, oh no, they'd be like, no, we're gonna go to another airport because this is too short.
I mean, because that plane is a monster, and I just can't get the reason why they're not flying that bird anymore.
That's a
Tim
big
says
boy.
they can land an A380 at Clark.
Good morning, Pacquiao Mertz is here, and Tox is here, and Bryce is here.
Yeah.
Bryce, thanks for coming. Mertz, thanks for coming. I think I misspelled your name in the chat the other day. I apologize about that. I woke up from a nightmare thinking, was I in Mertz's chat? And I always just put, instead of writing out Pacquiao Mertz, right? I put Mertz, MRYNZ, something like that. And then I woke up thinking about it late last night, thinking, oh no, I embarrassed myself. I do apologize for misspelling your name. But see, I wanted to shorten it, right? I wanted to shorten it. I wanted to start referring to Pacquiao Mertz as PM, and then the more I thought about that, oh no, that's not right. I shouldn't use PM either, right?
You know what I do? You know what I do? I say Pacquiao just to keep myself safe.
Yeah.
I'm not here to butcher names.
Yeah, there you go. I started thinking about using PM, and then I said, oh no, you better not do that. That acronym, it has too many different meanings, Yeah. Thanks for hanging in here with me, Anna Mae. And I think that Sammy disappeared on us.
Yeah, she said
Yeah.
she lost her power.
Oh, she lost her power. Okay.
So I wrote to her and told her I hope she gets the power back. So I don't know if
All right.
she lost the power to the house or if her laptop just went dead. I really don't know. She
Should
just said
we
they lost the power.
should we give Sammy a new nickname? Maybe we can give Sammy. We'll start referring to Sammy as the Big Banana. That was funny. I'm gonna have to look around for that program that they're using. You know, where they can change themselves into an avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buddha does that a lot too.
I know
does that.
Buddha. I believe Buddha or Sammy sent me the link at one time. I think Buddha did.
Well, Buddha's the one that started it. From what
Yeah.
from what I remember,
I'm sure it
because
was Buddha.
I saw Buddha doing it first.
And then you
And
change
Sammy
yourself
started
into an avatar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting, you know. Anyway, Peter's here. Which is scarier, bungee jumping or Philippine traffic? I would say,
Bungee
yeah.
jumping.
I'll tell you what. I don't know. I think it's a toss-up, right? I probably would take bungee jumping in Thailand over Philippine traffic jams.
No,
Yeah.
traffic.
Traffic.
I'll take traffic.
Navigating
Now, he
traffic.
didn't say. Now, Dan, he didn't say I had to be driving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll play Chris and Sabu and do Frogger.
It does remind me of a story, probably one that I've already told, but I was in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and my friend Mark, it was a big fiasco. I turned it into a big fiasco because I thought we were renting the van for us and the boys. They ended up deciding that they were going to rent bikes, right? So I sulked for about the first day because I hadn't been on a bike in a long time, right? I sulked. And then I gave in. I rented the motor scooter. By the time I rented the motor scooter, I ended up with this old jalopy, you know, this this thing that was being kept together with duct tape and baling wire. And I started driving that around the streets of Chiang Mai. And I got to tell you, that is not a place, you know, you think Bangkok is challenging. Nowhere in Thailand is there a good place for you to practice on a motor scooter. I learned the lesson the hard way, but thankfully did not fall off of it, did not crash it, even though I came very, very close. I came close to crashing it into people, not just once or twice, many times. And at one time, a guy just gives me a look like, rookie. You know, he just throws me this look like, you shouldn't be on that thing, you rookie. You know, you tourists cause most of the accidents here and most of the deaths here in Thailand.
I want to tell you the truth. I would be afraid to ride a
No,
bike.
lie to me, Larry. I want you to lie to me.
But I would be afraid to ride one in Thailand over the Philippines. Because I'd be afraid I'd ride on the wrong side of the road in Thailand.
Well,
go around a corner and hit somebody head on.
That was difficult, but you can't go over there and say, "What's wrong with you people riding on the wrong side of the street?"
I didn't say that. I just said I'd be on the wrong side.
Listen.
Somebody head on.
Larry, you're brilliant. You reminded me of another story. Okay, this has to do with pedestrian traffic. So, listen, I just thought about this and decided that the number one reason why I love the Philippines has got to be because they drive on the right side of the street, not the wrong side. This is very important. This is very important. And so
I agree.
Check this out. Pedestrians, they pass you the same way. And it took me the longest time to figure this out. So I'm coming down the sidewalk. I'm walking on the right. And they try and pass me on the right. And so I'm looking around going, what the hell is going on here? And then my friend Dave says they walk pedestrian traffic the same way that they drive. And so they're going to be so here's what I know start happening. What started happening was that I noticed that Thai people would look up and they would look at you and to determine whether you were a foreigner or not, a Westerner or not. If they thought you were from the West, they would move over to the left, to the left. If they thought you were from the East, they would move over to the right. And so, listen, I had a lot of fun with this because when I'd see them look up to see who's coming at me from down the street, I would move over to the left at the same time that they would. They thought that I wasn't going to move, that I was going to stay right in my line of walking, but I would move just to pardon the pun, trip them up. And I actually had a lot of fun doing that. And so once I figured out what was going on, everything was cool. I was cool with it, but it takes a while for you to adjust. Yeah, it takes a while to adjust.
That's why I would not want to ride a bike, because I know me. There, you'd be half asleep riding a bike somewhere. Like, I'm gonna go down and get a cup of coffee, and you get on the wrong side of that road.
Hey, by the way, Larry and Jack, very, very similar to the money, the way the money works. Now, Jack, I don't know how long it took you to become acclimated to where you're not thinking about what the transfer rate is into American dollars, but I no longer think about it. So in the beginning, right, I'm trying to calculate when I'm going to the supermarket, things like that, how much I'm spending in American dollars. Well, it only took something like 3 or 4 months, and I started to become acclimated to just using pesos as opposed to trying to figure out how much money it is in American dollars. Also, I learned a valuable lesson also that I like to share, and that was that once you establish the budget, a monthly budget for like your food, for example, because that's the best, because that's the budget that makes the most sense is how much you're spending on food, because we're spending more on food than you ever will on rent. Is that not true, Jack? Is that not true? Yeah. And so you're paying attention to your food budget. And so after I established that budget for the food, I stopped converting it over into American dollars, because I figured it out right like this. I figured that, once you're out of money, you're out of money. I guess you're going to starve, I guess you blew through your food budget. And so, but a lot of people there, myself included, we're using the 50 to 1. When you're using 50 to 1, it's easy to figure out, every 50 pesos is $1 American. It's easy. When you start throwing in the fractions, it starts getting difficult, right? So as long as you're just using 50 to 1, but it took me only 3 or 4 months. I no longer think about converting everything from pesos into dollars or dollars into pesos. What about you, Jack? Any stories about that?
I have friends from back home, and they ask me how much things cost. I almost swore, but I'm trying to be nice. Ask me how much things cost, and I'm like, I gotta think about it. What's the exchange rate today? 53. Okay. Now I can't figure it out.
Hey, girlie.
Jack, would you agree that if you have to think about what the exchange rate is, you probably shouldn't be here?
So I'm just running on PHP right now.
Yeah.
Now, Dan, on the exchange rate, the thing
Yeah.
I think I would never forget is when I'm going to go in and exchange my money for pesos, and look and say, all right, is it up or down? Because if it's, you might want to wait a day or two. If it's down,
yeah,
of course, then it could go down even more. But I'm just saying, that's what I would pay attention to it.
I think, Jack, would you agree with me? You never exchange money on the weekend?
Never.
Yeah, you never do it. They fix it. Hey, they don't follow the Forex. I don't know why they do that in the Philippines when they don't do it anywhere else in the world. But the Forex exchange rate can be floating, right? And you could hit a high number on a Saturday, and when it's Saturday here in the Philippines, then you go down to the exchange store, right? And they're giving you Thursday or Friday's rate. And so it took me the longest time to figure out that they were fixing the rate as you come into the weekend, because that's when they were going to make the most money. Is people are going to run in there on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're going to need to exchange money. And so they knew that their opportunity to make profit was going to be greater on the weekend, and even better if it's a 4-day holiday. And so people learned that you had to go in there and do it during the middle of the week. You have to go in there on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and they're going to be following the Forex numbers as opposed to sliding in there in the weekend. If you go in there on the weekend and you run out of money, it's just shame on you.
Yeah. I'm going to tell
for
you,
not planning ahead.
There's the guys in the downtown areas with the calculators.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. You're funny. You're cracking me up because I've seen that. I've seen that so many times.
I'll tell you the truth. Now, when I was in the Philippines, and this was back in the 70s, you got a better rate on the street than if you went to the bank. Usually, a lot of times you got a better rate by going to the black market. In other words, the same thing in China. When I was in China back in the 90s, you got a better rate on the black market. And China was pretty much on the gate. They fixed it. China just said, "This is what we're going to give you." They didn't care what the exchange rate was in worldwide. For the U.S. dollars, you got 9 Chinese for every one. And it wasn't a bad rate, but it was just like that's the way it was, and that's what they decided. It still made our money go a lot farther.
Those guys with the calculators, they will stack up their money, and when the dollar goes high, they drop that, make a whole bunch of profit.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Those guys pay real close attention. I mean, that's how they make their money.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's just like the black market. A lot of times they will buy it because they know they can go somewhere else and sell it for more. And the bank would only give you so much, but they didn't care if they could sell it for more. That's all you're getting because that's what the government said. The black market people knew what it was worth, to sell somewhere else. So they give you a little more so they can get your money. And then they go sell it somewhere else and get more money. Especially if you had the bigger bills.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I was in China back in '99. The same year I quit smoking, by the way. But I was there for 3 weeks. I quit back in, it's been 24 years. I quit. Like I said, here in the States is March 3rd. That's the day I quit. It was March 3rd. So it's 24 years today. And I tell you, I dreamt about cigarettes for a year after I quit.
Yes,
I smoked for over 27 years. I was in my mid 40s when I quit.
I'm 41.
I was in my mid 40s.
Smoking and drinking since I was 16, 17.
I was a pack a day by 18, and I started smoking at 12.
Whoa.
But I was a pack a day by 17, 18 years old.
Did your mommy or daddy know you were doing that?
They never caught me.
They never caught you.
Oh, yeah.
Tell
And
you what,
by the time they found out, I was 18, so there was nothing I could do what I wanted. It was my money anyway. I started working when I was 15. And, yeah.
Layla, Vlogs is in the house. Thanks so much for coming.
My dad found a pack of cigarettes.
14.
My dad found a pack of cigarettes of mine, but he thought they belonged to my older brother because he's the one that was working. I wasn't working yet.
Oh, Crystal's makes that point. Yeah, I didn't think about this until Crystal's brought it up here, but she's probably right about this.
You're probably right.
So, yeah, and I want to share a story about this one. All right. So one day I'm telling Minnie, I'm saying, I'm not feeling safe lately. I don't know what it is, right? Maybe it's that hearing and reading about too many news stories where they're knocking off foreigners over here in the Philippines. Now they're not knocking us off left and right, but there are crimes of opportunity here, just like there are anywhere else in the world. And you have to be aware. You always have to be aware of your surroundings. And it would be ashamed if I ended up getting knocked off when I brag about being, a keen observer of the human condition. Can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine one day I'm on here saying, Dan here, is saying here that he's a, keen observer of the human condition. Then next day, I get knocked off by two guys on a motorcycle. So I was telling Minnie, I said, for example, and I gave her an example. There's a young guy, right? There's a young guy with a black backpack who I've seen way too many times walking near us, way too many times, right? Always looks like he's going somewhere, to school, from school, to the Dunkin' Donuts, to the chicken place. I said, I've seen this guy too many times. I go, I'm getting a little bit, nervous. And so I said, I think we need to change up our pattern of behavior, because quite frankly, we're creatures of habit. People that know me here in Baiba, they know where I'm going to be at certain times of the day. I said, so we got to change it up a little bit, change our route that we travel, change our what time we head over to the bank. Because Crystals is making an important point. Once you start going to the black market for your money, right? People start paying attention. They start watching you. And then one day, guess what happens? The guy that's exchanging your money gets some friends involved.
Oh yeah.
And says, hey, this guy is always going to be carrying $200 American with him. Every time they come to exchange money, it's always at $200 at a time. So, they will involve their friends, and the next thing you know, somebody's jacking you up for your money. That happens a lot more than you think. And so,
I believe it.
Yeah, you have to be careful. Be cognizant. Be careful of your surroundings so you don't get jacked up like that. So the danger part is going to the black market for the money and then having them set you up like that. And so Crystals is right. Subconsciously, I was doing it, not consciously. Subconsciously, I would change it up. I wouldn't go to the same money exchange every time when I first got here. Now we don't do it that way no more. Now we just do money transfer through the bank. So now it's fairly routine to get money over here. And so we don't have to show up anywhere we get the exchange rate the bank is offering at the time, and that's it. And that's the safest way to do it. Now,
I would say probably the bank.
Yeah, it's the bank to bank transfer. Because many set herself up a bank account, and now all we have to do is do bank to bank transfer. I don't even have to fool with it.
All right, I'm going to step away. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to step away and grab myself something to drink.
I ended up getting CCTV in my house because it's getting broken into all the time. I got Spider-Man coming in through my attic access upstairs. Like,
what the heck?
Yeah.
Did you say you have CCTV?
I got CCTV now, but since I got CCTV, my house is not.
Well, tell you what, I brought my system with me from the U.S., so it has yet to be installed. And my wife has been saying, how long are we going to be here before you get that thing installed? How long are you planning on being here?
Does the power supply accept the voltage here?
I think it does. I'm going to test it, but I'm almost sure it does. It's that Brinkman one that you get in the States over at Harbor Freight Tools.
Oh boy!
It should. It should automatically. No. They've come a long way, baby. Since the days of the cheap Chinese tools, right? Use once and throw away. Yeah. That's the way it used to be. Yeah.
Use once, throw away.
Yeah. Use once, throw away. Yeah. So now this is the what's it called, that Brinkman security line. So this isn't one of their own Chinese imports. This is one that's fairly well known that they marketed for them. And I got 4 or 5 cameras, and so I doubt I have to use 4 or 5 cameras, but I sure would like to see something coming before it happens,
Mm-hmm. I got a 4-camera system here, but I want to buy another system. So
Do you have wireless or do you have wire?
It's wired, but I can watch it on my phone.
This system works the same way. It's a wired system, but it works on your phone. So you hook it up through the router, and then did you have to hire somebody to put that in for you? Because I need somebody to set the whole thing up.
This one I hired somebody to install it. So I bought it off Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, okay. So Facebook Marketplace looks like the place to go. And so, yeah, I want to get one up and running because, man, Minnie and I were going to go. Jenna Lynn, how are you, Jenny Lynn? Jenna Lynn, thanks for being here today.
Yeah.
Because, man, Minnie and I, we want to.
If you have it installed,
Lisa,
you got to pay per meter of wire.
I got line. They use the same line here as they do in America. So I've got line. I brought extra.
Cat 5.
But they charge you. Oh, it doesn't matter if I use my own line. They're charging you by the meter.
I had to buy the meter, but the cable that came with the kit, they took it. They took it.
They took it.
Now, Jack, I got a question for you. You said they quit breaking in after you got it set up?
Yep.
Now, so in other words, they either saw him installing it or he told them,
Yep.
hey, look, there's a camera up on that one. Get away from that house. Because, I mean,
That's a good
they
idea.
spotted it going in. Or
I got 3 outside and I got 1 in that corner, up in the corner in the ceiling. Oop, if I could point it out.
Tim is funny.
It just covers the whole downstairs.
Harbor Freight is a one-use tool supply house. We know.
Yep.
Tim. We know what you're getting if you go there.
that's like Big Lots.
Yeah. But we got the dog is working. The dog is working as a pretty good alarm, though. You know, that little dog will yelp and bark the hell out of somebody that you don't know. So that's really a good thing. I mean,
a lot of people have dogs.
Yeah, we'll be in the middle of the night. It'll be like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll hear that dog barking. And I'll get up. I'll fire up all the outside lights. You know, just turn them on, and I'll start flashing them to let who's ever out there know, you know, that I'm up, man. So if you want to bring it, go ahead and bring it. So I'll go out. We got lights everywhere. We got border lights on the gate line, and we got them underneath the eaves of the house, and we got them in the front, of course. And so I'll just start firing up lights. You know, I'll just fire them up. Daisy Lynn Castro's in the house, who has a beautiful voice, sings like a bird when she's in the mood. So if you guys haven't signed up at Daisy Lynn, you need to go over there and subscribe.
I got
Daisy Lynn, family woman.
Lights in my carport that run all night long.
Daisy Lynn has a beautiful family. So Daisy Lynn is one of the people that I want to see the next time I'm heading north. But I messed up last time. I came in from Manila the wrong direction. And so I was looking on the map. I was looking where Daisy Lynn and where Philippine and Raquel, where they live. And I know the direction of travel for the next time. I know which way I got to go. I got to make if I'm heading over to Pampanga to see Tim, I got to make a wide berth through San Fernando so I can get to see all these people. But I now know the direction of travel for next time. You can't just go straight north, you know, you can't go to Pampanga first and then come back and then make that run. You have to go north. You have to go stop in to see Filipina Raquel, stop in to see Daisy Lynn, you know. Daisy Lynn is like everything in one package, you know. It's kind of hard to describe. She's the mom, caregiver. She's the singer, entertainer. She's the Stepford wife. Daisy Lynn is like everything in one package, you know? And so I cannot go north again. I cannot go north from where we are to Manila without stopping in and seeing Daisy Lynn and her beautiful family. It would be a sin. It would be a sin not to do it.
I just subscribed to her.
Oh, you just subscribed? That's fantastic. I know she appreciates it. I know she does. And Larice, what you got coming to you? Listen, Larice, I noticed this about you, Larice. People love you. People love you. I mean, they meet you the first time and they just fall in love with you. I have no idea. Listen, I want to find out why that happens, Larice. I want to find out why that happens. No, you know, I'm a married man. But Larice deserves the first class treatment when we finally hook up. You know, her and Mabel Torres. And so, hey, do you know each other? Listen, I hate sounding stupid, really, Mabel, for not knowing this. But you and Larice, are you neighbors? How far away from each other do you guys live? Let's see, how far? Daisy Lynn says thanks, Jack.
All right.
Hey, another reason to go to Pangasinan and see crystals is they have a Starbucks.
That's good to hear, Tim. That's good to hear. Tim says his girlfriend wants to take the caregiver course so she can take care of you.
Well, you know, I don't know. Filipinas are natural caregivers. I don't know what kind of a course they need to be taken. They're natural. They're naturals at caregiving.
Yeah, but this way she'll know exactly what to do. You know, to make it look like. I mean, you know, to make it look like an accident. Whoa!
Listen, I think she knows exactly what to do. Larry, you're cracking me up. You're busting me up. I'm laughing over here. I'm laughing. Oh my goodness gracious!
I can't wait till later this month we have the time change again.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I thought they were doing away with the time change.
Well, no, we got to change we got to change it again. Then I think this is the last. Hopefully, this is the last time. They wanted to stop last year, but they said, "Oh no, we can't do it. We got to schedule these train schedules and airplane schedules, and
yeah.
And, it's going to take time to change all that."
Crystal said we are natural, Sir Dan, when it comes to caring. Absolutely, that's my experience in life. That's certainly.
And I'm right. It's March 12th at 2:00 in the morning. We change our clocks, and so I'll be 12 hours behind you instead of 13, which I'll enjoy that.
You know what Crystal's saying? That's why I'm confused. You know, I'm confused by all the pushback. You know, I guess that the pushback from Western women and the whole passport bro controversy. Larry, you know what I'm talking about. It's pretty fascinating. It's pretty fascinating, but I figure it like this. I kind of figure that there wouldn't be pushback if there were obvious things happening or occurring to the Western women that are doing the pushing back. In other words, you know, if they've experienced being left behind by their boyfriend and their former boyfriend, that would be a reason to push back against Filipinas.
Well, no, they're pushing back because they're losing control of these guys.
Losing control?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have you seen what some of those women look like?
Yeah.
All right, but if you listen to the women talk, they want a guy that's making six figures. You know, he's tall, he's handsome, well built, and then you look at them. You know, they want a 10, but yet they're a 3.
I thought the dad body was in. I thought everybody wanted the dad bod.
oh, oh
They
God!
thought
Some
the
of those
Arnold,
women.
they thought the Arnold bod would bring them grief because didn't I hear that the Arnold bod was just they're good to play with but not good to marry?
Yeah, but see, that's what they all want.
Yeah,
These women
I
and
thought they all wanted.
the ones that are no, the ones that are complaining. We're talking about the ones that are complaining.
Yeah,
These are younger women. They want to run around, have fun, and when they're ready to settle down, they want the guys to take them seriously. But
yeah.
yet, these girls would not give these guys the time of day. Hey, Leonard,
Hey,
would not give
everybody.
these guys the time of
Stop,
day
Leonard.
before, and now they're complaining because the guys are figuring, hey, look, you're wasting all your good years by running around, sleeping around, and doing all this. And we're wanting to settle down, but you won't even talk to us because we don't make the kind of money you think we should make. And like I said, you look at some of these women that are 3, they still want that guy with 6 figures, and they want that guy, so tall, and they want that guy, really. And he's going, why do I want to put up with this when you won't even give me the time of day? I can go somewhere where there's traditional women, which is what they're looking for, and who are intelligent, kind, caring, loving.
Traditional. I'm not sure. You know what? Here's
when I say traditional, I mean they want to be the wife, they want to be the mother, they want to take care of the house. A lot of guys, even if they work outside the house, they're not wanting to go to the bars with their girlfriends. They're not, I got to have one night a week to go out with my girlfriends and dress skimpy, and we're gonna go get free drinks and dance around, and you just got to put up with it. They're not that way. And it's not just the Filipino women, the Thai women, the women in Vietnam. They're all more traditional than the women here in the West that are. And I'm talking, like I said, I'm talking about the younger women.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Larry. Even the Colombian, Dominican Republic, Central American, all those women are more traditional.
Yeah, and some of those, a lot of those like to party, but once they get settled down, they usually settle. But you got the American woman now. She wants to work. She wants you. She wants to go out and make money. You got to make a lot more money than her. She wants to go out with her girlfriends every week, maybe twice a week without you. And you're married. I mean, I'm sorry. I wouldn't want that. I mean, if you want to go out drinking, let's go together. We'll go drinking and dancing. That's what a couple should do. I'm not into drinking and dancing, but if that's what my wife wanted to do, that I'd go with her. I don't want her to go out with her girlfriends who are single with a bunch of guys hitting on them. And I sat at home.
I'm just trying to think, what would we compare to in the Filipino relationship? That's what I'm trying to think. Because they're
going out doing it.
Well, yeah, I suppose you're right about that. But another thing that came to mind was, they're not wanting to stay at home where they're supposed to be. Yeah, I suppose that's it. In a way, I've thought a lot about this. I mean, I've thought about what the issues are that are facing Filipinas in the future. That we'll be talking about in this channel on Wednesdays, and some of the things have to do with the fact that as they emerge as the breadwinners, the main breadwinners for their homes, right? Some men are going to feel threatened by that, and they're going to be going through some of the same things that we did in the West, when presented with the same problem. We're gonna resist losing control over our household and all this other thing, because we now know that the Filipino holds the economic power in the house.
But you see, now I myself, I've dated women and lived with women who worked, and I worked. You split the housework. As long as you don't have kids, you split stuff. You do the cooking, they do the dishes. They do the cooking, you do the dishes.
That ain't the way it works in the Philippine culture, my friend.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about here in the States. I've done that.
Yeah.
I
understand.
It don't work like that here anymore.
No, and it don't work like that here. Yeah.
But I
In
mean,
other
it
words-
has in the past, but it doesn't work like that.
Yes, in the
anymore.
past it used to, but it's not anymore.
That's
Now
right.
they want you
So-
to do everything.
Yep.
But here's the thing: will the same thing happen in the Philippines that has happened in the West? In that regard, because
don't
I think
think
there's
so.
a chance. I think
Filipinos are
it
going to
might,
get.
but it's going to take years. It's going to take. It's
You
going
don't
to take
think
a
that they would
generation or
get?
two.
You don't think that they're going to get sick of the whole idea that they're the breadwinners of the household, working 12, 16 hours a day while Mr. Man, their partner, is out working only 8 hours a day, and when she comes home and has to put up with having to take care of the children in the house, you don't think that the Filipino is going to push back in that regard the same way that females push?
Like I said, it will happen, but it will take a generation or two. Because right now, you're going to have a lot of Filipino women once they decide to have the kids. If the man's making enough money to support, she's going to be done working. She's going to say, "Hey, look, I'm going to stay home," because that's what she was
tradition
raised.
for them.
Yeah, that's especially if they're in their smaller cities and the province. That's what a lot of them want. If he can take care of everything, and I'm saying if, I'm not saying he can't, but if he can take care of everything and provide for the family, she'll stay home, raise the kids, because they're raised to want to do that. I'm not saying it's in their DNA, but it's in their background. It's what they were raised to do.
Yeah,
And some will break from it, and some won't. That's what I'm saying. It'll take a generation or two for it to be completely changed over. My mom, and this is back in the 50s and 60s, my mom stayed home and took care of the kids until my dad went on total disability. Then she went to work only because she had to.
right.
And that happened. But that in the 60s and 70s is when it really flipped the other way. Because pretty soon it became where one income wasn't enough.
Well, see, but we got the whole machismo thing going on in the Philippines, and the thing is that you don't think that a Filipino's manhood is going to be threatened by the fact that a female is now the breadwinner of the family, and we went through this period.
It
Hey,
was in the
Tim, that's a
50s and
good
60s
deal.
too.
You're lucky.
It was in the 50s and 60s for the American men.
Right.
Because like I said, for the American men back, because you got to remember, my father came from my family started in the mid 40s. Actually, my oldest sister was born during World War II. Back then, before World War II, the women didn't work outside of the house unless they were single. World War II, they started doing traditional jobs that men did because the men were off to war. And so men came back.
I happen to know this about Crystals, right? I appreciate her comment. Crystals, you're different. I just would like to point out how different that you are, in that you're doing work right now that historically or traditionally has been considered to be man work.
Oh yeah.
So Crystals, is what I'm doing, Crystal, what I'm talking about, not already happening? Because I know you and your partner, you fit like hand in glove. I know that about you. I'm thinking that you're atypical. I'm thinking you're not the typical Filipina. See, in other words, you're already adapting to the environment.
Yeah, but
sure
you got to remember, her partner can't be typical Filipino male if he's willing to.
No, he's willing to accommodate. He's willing to accommodate.
Like I said, though, there's a lot of Filipino men will feel threatened. Like you said, they're machismo.
Yeah.
They would feel like, oh well, she's making the money, she's helping. Oh man, I'm not providing. I can't. That a lot of, and like I said, in the 40s and 50s, a lot of men felt that way.
No, I agree, and I'm just saying that Crystals is very lucky that her man is adapting to this new economy, this new environment. I'm just proposing that it's going to it'll be more difficult for others. That she's special, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. No,
that they have a special relationship. Yeah,
I agree with
that. Yeah, they have a very special relationship that is not typical.
Relationship. They respect each other.
Yeah.
And that's a very good relationship.
That's why Larry. That's why it works for them. But I'm saying, if a Filipina went to her man, let's say a driver, right? Now drivers work a lot of hours. That's a bad example. A better example is she's married to a skilled construction worker who's
They
gone,
work long hours.
put in his 8 hours and has made his 600 pesos per day. Now she says, "Oh, if you want me to continue to stay home full time and raise your children and keep the house and all this other stuff, you're going to have to go out and get another job." And then in response, he says, "I'm already working 8 full hours per day. How many hours do you want me to work?" Next thing you know, she goes out, gets a part-time job working in the Sari Sari store for 4 hours a day. He's coming home now pissed. Food is not on the table. Clothes need to be washed. House needs to be cleaned. Babies need to be bathed so they can get up, and clothes need to be washed so they have uniforms to go to school the next day. It changes the dynamic. The worry here is it significantly changed the dynamic of the household once that started to happen. Next thing you know, he continues working. She gets promoted to the management position. She now is the manager of the Sari Sari store, working 8 hours a day. Then, their household economy continues to grow, and she realizes that the dreams for her family will not come to fruition unless she takes on even more responsibility. She starts working 12 hours a day at her second job. Same thing that's happening in the West. Mr. Man decides that he's had enough. I never see my wife. I'm working my ass off at 8 hours per day. She doesn't appreciate what all I'm doing or contributions I'm making to the household. I'm out of here, and he takes off. That's the scenario. That's the scenario occurring in my mind's eye.
Well, there's a lot more to it than that. It's a lot of these women who don't want a man at all till after they're over 30.
Here in the West, yeah.
Yeah, they don't want a man at all till they're over 30 because they don't want to have kids, don't want to do any of that.
All they want to do is party. That's going on here in the West.
By the time they finally decide they want to settle down and have their family and all that, they have gone from an 8 or a 9 to a 2 or 3.
Right.
They're no longer young. They no longer have that quality.
But they still want that guy making six figures.
Well, yeah, they still want a guy that's
now he's making money.
Let's be honest, Larry. If you're living in the West, if you ain't making six figures, it's hard to live.
Well, all right, they want to. You're right.
It's hard to live in the West unless you're making six figures.
I'm talking. Excuse me. I mean 7 figures, not 6.
Yeah.
High 6 or 7 figures. In other words, well over 60. Like you're making $70,000, $80,000 to $100,000. They don't want to talk to you.
Right.
These younger girls when you're younger, because you don't have the money.
But Jack, when you go back to the States, you tell me if you don't see this. Larry, and you can chime in, but I'm seeing more age gap relationships happening in the West.
Oh yeah, the guy's older, the girl's younger. The guy's got the money, the girl wants the money. That's why you're seeing it in the West.
Yeah,
perfect relationship.
But we're talking about the women that when you're younger.
There's just more gold diggers over here. That's all.
Yeah, they're being more of a gold digger here than they are in the Philippines. These women are called the Filipinos gold diggers. They're the gold diggers.
I'll walk around in the mall here.
Because they want to call the Filipina girls uneducated, unsophisticated.
They can't speak English.
Can't speak English. And they speak English better than the girls that are saying that. And
a lot of them, yeah. Well, you ought to watch some of these passport bro things that the girls are talking, the Western girls are talking, and how they're talking about the Filipina or the girl from Thailand, the girl from how they talk about them. And then look at how some of them look.
I have.
No, I'm talking. I don't know if Dan's seen them.
Oh yeah, but
God,
There is
It's
a
ridiculous.
woman on YouTube, and I can't ever get her name, but she butchers those girls.
Oh yeah, I know
She
who you're
cuts
talking
them
about.
up and slashes them to pieces
Yeah.
and tells them
Well, I
just how
was,
freaking stupid they are.
Well, who is
Filipino.
that? Because Filipina P's doing it, and so is
No. This is a white
No, no, no.
chick.
This is a Western girl. This is a girl in the
Yeah,
United
this is a
Oh,
States.
white chick. I
Yeah,
can't think of her name.
yeah. I can't either, but I see her on the shorts
well,
on
but
YouTube.
Yeah,
in
she was
She
fairness
shows some
to
of
short.
these
her.
women, it's desperation, quite frankly. I mean, Crystal's. My point is, you guys have the perfect relationship. I mean, it's very futuristic. It's the way relationships will have to work in the future here in the Philippines. That's just my humble opinion.
Crystals,
You
you
know,
got it dead right.
Yeah, like I said,
so
it's going the way that a lot of people say the Philippines are like what the U.S. was in the 50s. All right.
Yep.
And they're moving now to where we are. And I'm not talking about,
Hey, Daisy Lynn.
I'm talking about the traditions, the way the family is, the way, the families back in the 50s, the father did most of the working. Mother very rarely worked outside unless the kids were grown. Like you take my sister, Wanda, uh, they had that kind of family in the 70s. Now, she was a school teacher, my oldest sister. And once she had her kids, she quit teaching on a full time basis. And once she had two boys, once they both got into school, she started doing substitute teaching. Because that way, if the kids were sick or the kids had the day off, she could stay home with them.
There you have it, Krell.
And so oh, yeah, but not everybody has that. Now, her
No.
husband was an electronic engineer. He designed TVs and stuff like that. He made good money. And then my youngest sister, with her first husband, all their bills were based on her income when they first got married because they didn't have kids. He worked in construction. He was a construction worker, uh, union construction. So he would have feast or famine. He'd have
Yeah.
work or he wouldn't because he was the youngest man. So when he
well, but
worked, the money he made, they bought all the big ticket items off when he worked. That most of the bills
Larry,
were based on her.
you know what? I got something for you to consider. So I got to tell you, it's no fun for a man in any event to have all this pressure put on him to produce. And now, as I'm listening to everybody talk, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Maybe I actually fled to the Philippines
You
because
did.
maybe I actually fled because I was tired of paying high rents. I was tired of all this pressure. I was tired of having to meet the expectations, that were required of the West. To work 12 hours a day, the pressure to make a prevailing wage so that you could pay your $1,800 per month rent.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, after a while, all that stuff wears on you. It wears on you. It changes your personality. It makes you not, in my case, it makes me not a fun guy to be hanging around with. And so, I mean,
a lot of that also has to do with the job. If you enjoy your job, it's a little easier.
It does help a lot, that's for sure.
but if I can throw race into the card a little bit, it does come into play because I could see, for example, I could see where some minority women would be very, very frustrated with what's happening in America, in the West, particularly in America. Because, for example, when I was going to college, I learned something that was something I never ever thought about. I started looking around and I noticed that I didn't see a whole bunch of African American male there, and I didn't see a whole bunch of Mexican American male there. As a matter of fact, in the particular program that I was in when I was earning my degrees, I was the only one. And so when I applied for the master's program, I knew that they had no choice to accept me, even though I had academic deficiencies. And the reason why they had to accept me is because they had no minorities in the program. But as I looked around, I noticed that there were very, very few African American males in the school that I attended, but there were heck of females, and there were also heck of Hispanic females and Mexican females. So I started researching and discovered that the number one minority that are making the most progress educationally in the West happen to be African American females. And so what was happening is they were going to school, and because relationships develop in school primarily, their contacts, if they wanted to marry an African American male, were severely diminished. And this is very frustrating for some people who wanted to maintain and marry into their race. They were looking primarily for people that looked like them. But it was equally disappointing when I had conversations on this subject with females, Mexican American women, who were looking around going, where are all the men? So I went to work and I started looking statistically at what was happening. And what I was actually observing in college was actually materializing in the stats. And so this could be a reason why, if you think about it, when you start looking at even white women who are in college versus white men, the same statistical anomaly is occurring. And so
I think more women go to college than men.
So I'm thinking that this is the economic future of the Philippines also. This is a demographic. This is going to prove out to be
what's going to happen.
Those demographics, those stats are not an anomaly. They're actually going to become of statistical importance moving forward, even in the Philippines. And so the thing is, I'm not trying to make statements that are controversial. All I'm trying to do here is give you a statement of fact. And so looking on the other side of the ledger, based on what I've told you, it's understandable why people would be angry, females would be angry in the West, that they were unable to find a partner in the West. The partners were failing.
A lot of these girls, you can tell they're not that highly educated. I'm sorry.
Whoa! I wouldn't know. See, I wouldn't know. All I'm doing is speaking.
Well, if you listen to them talk, they are not. I was. If you go by the way they speak,
I mean, a lot of us were speaking in order to get our point across. For example, do you ever notice how I tend to use certain words when I'm trying to express myself? I'm trying to, I have go-to words. The go-to words aren't really acceptable if I wanted to be grammatically correct, but I'm using the words. I'm using the words because they're going to make my point. I'm trying to catch my attention. Let me give you one example, right? When I curse, I'm putting the emphasis on my point. I'm putting the dot above the I. I'm trying to put the exclamation point on the statement. I know I shouldn't be cursing, right? That it's not, but it's an effective way of communicating during these times, It's part of our culture that we say certain words, right? The F word, people hardly even notice anymore because we use it so often,
Fudge.
Jack, chime in here. Help me out here some kind of way.
We're ganging it up on him. He's a poor Mexican here. We're just going to gang up on him. Boom, boom, boom.
No. I'm giving you the other side. I'm not saying it's right.
What I'm
it could be attacking anybody. They could be attacking anybody. I'm just trying to give you an idea of the way that I look at it. The frustration is coming from somewhere. Where is it coming from? What's coming from a lack of hope. I've talked about this so much that it's a lack of hope for the future. I mean, look at what's happening. Look what's happening to our children. A fast food job used to be an entry-level job, and now it's a career. Jack, am I wrong? Am I wrong about this?
No.
No, what I'm saying is,
when they raise, everybody's saying,
I'll be back in a little bit.
What I'm saying is, though, what these women here or what they're wanting, and it may be because they're rebelling against the patriarchal system, but what they want to do is they want to go out and start partying at whatever age, and they want to go until they're in their 30s, and and then they want to settle down with some guy that's making lots of money, who is going to treat them like a queen. And there's this black couple that shows in Grateful Women. Now, this is just on today or yesterday. I want to say I saw it today. This guy took his girlfriend to buy her a car. He's buying the car for her.
Hey, Anna Marie.
Brand new car.
Sorry.
And she, I'm going to tell you the truth, she was not a 5. And he's buying her a brand new car. And she's complaining because it's not the kind of car she wants. It's his money buying her the car. And she's complaining because it's not that car over there with the moonroof. It's not. And this one had a sunroof. But it's not that more expensive car. It's not, here he is, he's buying you a car. You can't just say thank you?
Oh, no, not now.
That's what I'm saying. This is what's going on.
Yeah, see here, Tim's made a couple of excellent points. I don't want to ignore Tim. Here's the thing. That's one of many reasons. That's the only point that I'm trying to make here. It is not the only one. You see, here's the thing, Larry, right? They're venting their frustration. They're directing their frustration a certain direction. But even though I believe and you believe, and probably mostly everybody believes that this isn't a very healthy way to approach this problem. It's a culmination of the frustrations of what's going on in the West. In other words, and so men have realized, particularly retired and older men have realized that they don't have to put up with this. But coming over here and gaining the love of a caring Filipina and all this other stuff is one of the reasons, one of many reasons why I have come here. And so in the passport bro thing, they're focusing in on, men going over there and they're tearing down the Asian women because they think it's the Asian woman that is the only thing that's attracting men over to the east. But it is not.
They don't want to accept. They don't want to accept
all the other things which isn't fair.
They're also saying these guys are coming over and they're pedophiles because they're going after these underage girls
right.
And you know good well if a foreigner's caught with an underage
taking
girl,
advantage.
This is what if you watch the Philippine Peeps, they say this when she shows a clip. They're just pedophiles. They're over there taking advantage of these underage girls that don't know any better.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. It's pretty disgusting. I agree. We're not arguing whether it's a disgusting approach or not, but it's only one of many, many different reasons why the men are looking towards the east for a solution.
No. I'm not talking. No. They're claiming that's the only reason the men are coming over.
Right.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm proposing to you. Yeah, I'm just proposing to you that all they're doing is taking the easiest reach for a reason as to why things are changing so fast in the West.
Well, yeah, they're looking for any reason they can use.
That's a pretty easy reach, you have to admit.
Oh yeah,
but the vast majority of men aren't looking for 18-year-old girls.
Right. You don't even have to bring race. I mean, in terms of Asian, you don't even have to bring that up. All you have to do is say you passport bros are traveling to other parts of the world because you think that you can find a better, partner somewhere else other than here, period. And that's all they'd have to say. So yeah, the attack.
True.
Yeah, the attack against Asian women in particular, insert name here. In other words, you can say anything about anybody, There was Colombian women, Mexican women, African women. You can say anything.
Women from the Eastern European, the poor countries over there.
Right.
One of the girls brought that up as well. So, but there was
Ukrainian.
Ukraine. I think it was Ukraine.
Ukrainian would be one. Croatia would be one. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Any of the
you
Slavic
really,
countries.
right?
Well,
Any
what I'm
of the
saying is,
Slavic countries.
What they're saying
But-
is, oh, you guys are just going over there because you can't handle a real woman.
Right. Critical thinking really
If
does come
that's-
into
yeah.
play.
If that's
I
what a real
wasn't
woman
saying
is,
that I agree.
you're right. I can't
wasn't
handle
saying-
one. I don't want to.
Right. I wasn't
Had
saying
my
that.
share.
I wasn't saying at all that it's more complex than the way they're presenting it. In other words, but I know I have a feeling I know where the frustration is coming from, and it's way more complex.
No, the frustration is coming from they want to control everything
Oh, yeah.
and dictate what you
They're
do,
saying,
how
we
you do,
don't-
where you do.
That's a persona, but check this out. Check this out. The competition that they're going to have, right? Other competition. It's not Asian women. It's their own younger sisters who have figured out that they also can get involved in an age gap relationship and have instant house, instant family, instant everything, BMW in the driveway. All they have to do is go seek out an older male who's making that six figures. And then that 40-year-old woman is out of business. She's out of play.
Yep.
I'm proposing
She's
to you.
wasted. Yeah, she's wasted her youth when she was actually of quality and had value. And now that she has very much lowered value, then she wants to try to take advantage.
Hello, sir.
Oh, hey,
She wants to take advantage of some
Larry.
poor guy. Hey, how are you, man?
You're in my tab.
There's one of the guys
What's
that
that?
talks about that too.
Yeah, you're in my turf. Crazy Western women.
Well,
Self-
we're kind of all in that, except Dan. Dan got smart and got his Asian woman years ago,
Yeah.
and it's worked
Dan's
out
got a
very
woman.
well for him.
Dan's got a woman.
And
Yes.
should I admit?
This is
I think
what
I have already. Oh, there you go.
Hey, I have nothing. Good belly.
Man's best friend. See, here's the whole thing.
Sorry,
I saw this coming. I saw this whole thing coming many years ago, and I put my plan in play. I mean, okay, so call me whatever you want to call me, but I mean, I saw this thing coming 30 years ago. You know, I saw this coming.
I sure wish I had.
And I planned my life around this change, and so whatever, call me whatever you want. Call me a cab.
Call you smart.
I'll call you ahead of the curve.
But don't call me late for dinner.
Hey,
Very simple.
Yeah.
Dan's
I'm not gonna be
actually
late.
realized to look for a woman. Western
Right.
women aren't women anymore.
Right.
Well, I tell you, there are women that are Western women, but they're so few and far between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so few
overshadowed.
and far between.
They're overshadowed by the feminists.
The guys with money are picking them up. You
Any
know?
of them that are worth having, yeah.
Yeah.
Gone.
Are
It's
they
gone.
younger than I am? You know,
Dude.
I'm pushing.
Whoa, Sir Luke, covert slavery. Well, but we're all being enslaved, aren't we, Sir Luke? It's not a matter of female or male when it comes to the West. The opportunity, though, I pointed this out on my last live stream. I talked about how, you know, you have the CEOs of huge corporations are women nowadays, and then you look at the board of directors, and it's all men.
Hey, man,
So
all you got to
you
do is
tell
just
me-
type the word.
You tell me what they're trying to do.
Drop your link.
You know,
Dude, just walk into family court. Everything's female. The judges, everything. The
That's
lawyers.
It doesn't
Oh,
matter
yeah.
who the judge is, though. Everything is skewed towards the female.
Yep.
That's fact. My younger brother had a
exactly, and it doesn't make any sense, you know, because they claim, you know, that they wanted to achieve equality, you know, and so I suppose that if you achieve that status, that we should be treated equally then, but it doesn't always happen.
You're behind the times. Equality was back in the 50s and 60s. Superiority!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're
It's
not
like anybody-
satisfied unless they're dominating over a man.
Oh,
And then
hell,
they
it's
don't
not just
they don't
women.
really even want a man. The only
It's
thing
gay-
a man's
the
any
gay
good for them
movement.
for is to give them something.
Look at the gay movement. Yeah, it's
No,
no
yeah.
longer gay is okay. It's gay is the way. They all want to get in your heads and tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, like I said, though, my brother, my younger brother, one of his best friends. This is over 30 years ago because I was still living in Indiana and I've been out here for over 25 years. But anyway, he got a divorce and he got the kids. He got the three kids. She didn't want them, so she was
That's
supposed to pay
unusual.
child support. Did not do it, and he had always really busted his. When they start talking about deadbeat dads, when he had a deadbeat mother who was supposed to pay him child support for the three kids because she didn't want them, and she never paid a dime, and they never went after her.
Dude, my first marriage, after that, I was a single dad. My second marriage, she wanted money. There's child welfare reports going, yeah, the children stink, they're underfed, yada, yada, yada. She's admitted to mental disabilities, drug addiction. Doesn't matter now. If she wants the kids for the money, you got no chance.
That's true.
Assumption, presumption, and hearsay is no part in law,
Yep.
but it's not in family law. We can do what we like in family law.
Yeah.
I've just gone through 8 years of this crap.
Oh yeah. Well, like I
It's
said,
horrible. It's a horrible
it is.
experience to go through, I'm sure. Yeah.
No,
Well, like I said,
I can deal with the kids. Anybody's kids that are going through that, that's where you feel sorry for, man.
No, it damages them. It damages them.
Oh, big time.
Anybody that who says it doesn't, they haven't been through it.
Charmaine, how
That's
you
right.
doing?
Yeah, I'll tell you. But my point being that we chose to come to the East, and usually girlfriends and wives come with that decision. In other words, men, they're stuck at home in the West, and they don't have the options. I mean, even if they were interested in a woman at work, let's use that as an example. I think this will be a good example. You're not allowed to approach her because the law says that
You're
there's
a predator.
between asking someone out on a date and sexually harassing them. Well, where's that line that
There
exists?
isn't one.
Wherever
in the law. And so
wherever the girl-
They'll charge you with sexual harassment if you
Right.
ask the girl out.
right,
And she doesn't want to go out with you.
It
right.
doesn't matter if she does.
Yeah,
Somebody
quite
else- and the
frankly,
worst thing is somebody else can say they heard it.
and they
Well,
were
man,
offended
dude.
by it.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
exactly,
and they
you're
might-
exactly right, Leonard.
They may not
Exactly
even have
right.
been there.
Yep.
All they have to do is say it. There's no proof, no investigation. You're just automatically out.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So, and usually, Leonard, the woman that complains because she overheard the conversation is usually someone who has had some pretty negative dating experiences themselves, and so that's the American law. That's the way it works.
Well,
and so we learned
With that attitude to do something like that, I can understand why she had negative dating.
Right. We've been trained not to do it. We've been
Well-
told not to do it, and then the
Well,
backlash, of
now,
course, is what
Dan,
you get.
In that case, if you can't even ask a girl out for a date, how are you supposed to go out with the girl?
Well, you have to sign a contract.
Yeah,
And
I have to wait for her to ask you, right?
Well, that's what the
And
courts have told
you
us.
have to hire somebody to be a go-between. You can't do
I
it.
guess
They
so.
got to do it.
I
The
guess
courts
so.
have actually told us this. The best way to handle this, if you're going to have casual sex,
Dating app.
is to have a contract signed in advance that says we mutually consent to have a sexual relationship. It will take place on this day at this time. It's casual sex only. You're restricted to doing only this for this period of time. And then you most likely, will be covered and protected by law as long as you record the event, I suppose,
Yeah.
to show
Well,
that
you're talking
to
about
show the
talking to
woman
women.
wasn't coerced into having
And
sex
it's
with you.
illegal to record it, so
Yeah, you would have to get consent in order to record the event on your cell phone, I suppose.
You're
Well, like I
screwed
said,
if you do, you're screwed if you don't.
yeah.
You were talking
And
about
so
just talking to women.
then these particular women, they want to yell at because some women there's as frustrated as the men with the situation. I can't even be asked out on a date because the law doesn't allow it. But then
Yeah.
men are like, well,
Charmaine.
how do you end up getting hooked up then in this world? Well, then you have to seek other avenues, and those just happen to be right now going somewhere else, another country
Well,
who doesn't have,
dating apps.
That's
draconian
it.
laws.
Swipe left. That's the only way you can meet now. It's the only safe way.
Dating
That's not
apps.
even safe. They can
No,
accuse you of
it's
something
not.
there.
But earlier you
Even
were
though
talking
it's
about
all
just
in black
talking
and
to a
white.
woman. Dan, earlier you were talking about just talking to a woman. I was at work and I was talking to a friend of mine. She was a Chinese. She was an engineer from China who was on co-assignment. She worked for the same company, but she was on a 2-year assignment. And I'm talking to her, and this other lady speaks up. You leave her alone. Thankfully, like I said, this girl was my friend. She goes, he can talk to me anytime he wants.
Oh,
And
yeah.
shut the other lady up. But the other lady was trying to say, you can't talk to her. Who are you?
Yeah, that's the world we
I wasn't
live
even
in.
asking her out. I was just saying, hi, how you doing?
That's the world we now live in.
Well,
I don't live in that world.
Years ago.
Sorry,
I
I don't live in that world, Dan. I'm out of
Well,
that.
you did what you needed. You did what you needed to do in order to escape, and I'm a little jealous.
You're getting there, Dan.
No,
You're getting there.
Dan, you did it.
I did it. I did it my own way too. And so it's becoming
That's
more.
great. It's great.
Well, you're gonna
But-
have to find something that works for you.
It's still counterculture. I mean, if you think about it, it reminds me kind of like of the old days where skateboarders were considered to be counterculture.
Right.
Now
They
they're
were,
mainstream.
and now they're mainstream. Now they have Olympic sports. And so now
Yeah.
that kind of is a little bit what this reminds me of, the fact that people they're trying to turn this into pedophiles and all this other stuff, when all we're
Hello,
trying
Rona.
to do is have a relationship and that we can't have in the West.
Well,
Right.
yeah.
But again, I still can't help emphasizing that my point here was that's only one. That it may be the main reason, but it's only one of many reasons why people are leaving Western countries and then gravitating towards other parts of the world. And this won't last. My point is also, Larry, that it won't last very long here before it turns into the West here. I mean, that's the other point.
Well, no.
The other point is
The
you
thing
might
is,
be through it alive.
I'm not going there to find a wife.
Well, I didn't say anything necessarily about a wife. That's one thing.
I
But
want
as
to
you-
go there. I want to go there for the warmth and the cost of living. Now, if
Right,
I find a wife,
right.
that's
Cost of
a
living.
side
Let me
effect.
deal
That's
with
why
that.
I'm going.
Warm climate is a no-brainer, but let's talk about cost of living. You've
Dan,
heard me say, and now Steve, all of a sudden, I just want to point out something here, Larry. Since for a while there, you're really talking a lot about Steve, but I'll tell you this, right? All of a sudden, he takes a left turn. And if you watch the last 2 or 3 videos, you can tell that things are not the way they used to be by just simply watching his YouTube videos. And so things are changing, and it's scary because they're changing rapidly. And so keep your ear to the ground, because these changes that are occurring here are important ones to make note of, because you may wake up one morning and say, oh, man, I waited too long to get over to Southeast Asia. I'm gonna have to look.
That happens. I can go to South America. Or I can go somewhere else. Like I said, I would
Yeah.
prefer the Philippines.
Yes, you
But,
have to
you
keep
know,
an open mind.
The problem
But
is it's
you
going
also
up
got to
there too.
remember, I don't know when I'm going.
You need
My
to keep an
mother's
open
still
mind
alive.
about it.
Like I said, my mom's still alive. She's 97, so I'm not going more than half a day away by air. That's it. The Philippines
Right.
is too far away.
Right.
All right, and then also I want all my bills paid off with my car. If I decide to leave before my car is paid off, I don't care. I sell it back.
And by the way, speaking of Steve, did he just not say in his latest video the same thing that I was saying? It's like a parrot watching him sometimes, you know? I will say something, some observation I'll be sharing with you guys. And the next thing I know, it's showing up in one of his videos. And so I really appreciate this about Steve.
Are you talking about the video where he raised his sweet zone for retirement?
That's one. That was the first one that caught my attention for sure. That was the first one. And then he finally admitted that he doesn't live on that $1,000 to $1,500 per month budget. And I damn near
he never did.
I damn near fell off my chair when
the
he was
thing
talking.
about it is he talks about these higher budgets, and he
That's what
includes
he
a bunch of
lives
stuff
on.
in there that none of us would probably even consider doing.
That's true. That part is true, Leonard.
There's a
He's
lot
renting
of
three
stuff he
apartments.
does I would never do.
Yeah, he's
That
renting
trip
three
he took up the
apartments,
river to see that
taking
falls,
care of two or
I
three other
wouldn't do
people.
that.
You know,
Might have to be talked into something like that. That's not me.
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm more of a homebody. I'm not somebody. I mean, yeah, I might want to go out once a month and do something, but there's places where you can live that you don't have to go, but maybe an hour away to do the kind of stuff I'd want to do. I
Right.
don't have to travel to another island.
Exactly.
I mean, you live in Cebu. There's a lot of stuff there that you can do close by. Dumaguete or Valencia, they got all kinds of stuff to do that's close
Absolutely.
by. I would probably never leave those islands if that's where I was living. If I did, it'd be maybe once a year.
I think what I'm thinking about, honestly, Larry, what I'm thinking about is you can get, and what I'm thinking about a lot lately is that you can get some of what you want some of the time, and you can get, but you can't get all of it that you want. In other words, you'll have to sacrifice certain things in order to make life affordable and livable for you. And no one knows it probably better than Peter of Barbaria knows that.
Yeah.
In other words, you have to adjust your lifestyle around, the expectations.
Well, yeah, that and Tim Diziak, because he's got things pretty well worked out for him. It sounds like.
Right.
I'm going to tell you the truth, though.
I hope he's still on here. I want to ask him something.
He was just a little bit ago. But I'm
Yeah,
going
I
to tell
know.
you the truth. I wouldn't have to adjust too much because, like I said, I don't drink. I haven't had a drink in a bar in years, and I mean years.
Hey, Larice.
And I'm not that big of a drinker. I used to be. I go out to eat in a restaurant once, maybe a month. I don't mind cooking. I'm going to be honest with you. If I was in the Philippines, if I could afford it, I'd probably go out maybe once a week. I wouldn't go out every day. The thing I would have to worry about is something like you like to do, the coffee.
Oh,
Yeah.
Robbie. I'm out.
Well,
Yeah. Here's the thing.
It's nighttime.
Peter.
It's almost 9 o'clock here.
The coffee is the bar. The coffee is the bar for me. So
It's a
when I
better
hang out
choice,
with
I think.
Duncan, yeah, we go down there to gossip and tell lies to each other.
Yeah, and you and Minnie go together mostly, so
Right.
you know
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
all good.
The coffee might be the thing that would get me sucked in. To go get a cup of coffee a couple times a day. I mean, a week, maybe every day. It would depend on what else I got going on.
Now, this is why I'm jealous of Dan.
I stay home a lot on my days off and don't do anything. So watch TV and play on my computer and go for a walk.
Dan doesn't even have to go like this. She offers to
have
make him
the money to
coffee.
go out and do
Yeah.
things if I really want.
Sir Luke is saying send a boat for him.
That's what Dan's
But,
got. He's got somebody make him coffee.
Yeah.
But the thing is, yeah, Tim's still here, Leonard. You can ask your question. He just said he's still
Oh,
here.
yeah. Hey, Tim, I'm sure I've already asked this of you, but what is a good price for a caregiver?
See, that would probably be one of my biggest expenses outside of my rent and stuff. Is probably having somebody come in and clean my place once or twice
Yeah.
a week.
Well,
I
I've
don't
got
think
to.
I'd want to move
That's
it in.
something
But
I'm going to
somebody
have,
else.
at least for the time being. I'm going to have. So
I don't have to have it. Remember what my name is. Lazy. I
yeah,
hate.
we all know you're not lazy.
I hate cleaning. I hate dusting. I hate that stuff. Now, if you got carpets, I'll run the vacuum cleaner anytime you want. You know, I'll do dishes. I'll cook, but I hate dusting.
Well, I can.
Oh
I
my
can
God.
cook
Passion.
too, but
Look at this. I've gone 3 hours and change. I haven't done that in such a long time.
hey,
if
I'm
I've
proud
done
of you,
it,
Dan.
if I've done it ever. It must have been
But
something
that's-
really interesting today.
Dan, remember when you have co-hosts or a panel, time goes quicker because you're not carrying the whole thing by yourself.
Yeah,
That's why
Larry can tell you about that.
You know, when I do my live stream, I almost at the instant I put up a connection and come on up if you want to come up and talk. I don't mind. We can talk about your channel. We can talk about my channel. We can talk
caregiver,
about women.
I don't know if Tim has answered this or not. I didn't see it in here, but
Not
I would
yet.
imagine that you can get a caregiver. You mean a full-time caregiver, Leonard?
Well, it could be part time, but it have to be every day.
It would be every day, part-time.
Yeah.
I think that because people have such difficulty traveling around, there would have to be a live-in caregiver.
Well,
And
that's
you're
okay too.
You're probably looking at somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 pesos a month. So
What's that
probably
turn into
about
money?
about $200.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And
I have-
also, if it's full
Oh,
time, don't
thanks,
you
Dan.
also have
Or
to?
Tim, I mean.
Don't you have to pay their health care?
I don't
Say
know
it
about
again.
that.
Say it again.
I said, if they're full time, don't you have to
Yeah.
pay for their health care? You get to
I
pay for
think,
their
I
healthcare.
believe, yeah. So the way it
That's only a
works,
couple hundred a year, I think.
yeah, people usually will get PhilHealth for them,
Yeah.
or
It's
they'll
not
pay
a
their
lot of
premium.
money,
They'll
but
pay
it's
their
something I
premium
think
if they
you always
already
have to
have it.
Yeah.
They'll pay a portion of their premium if they already have PhilHealth.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
there's something about maybe a retirement fund. But like I said, when you're talking over there, you're talking
That,
5K.
yeah,
Or
you're
listen,
applying U.S.
Leonard.
standards there.
Leonard,
Larry.
you could use an agency, and they're going to take care of all that for you. You don't have to do all that.
Right.
Yeah, just hire an
You can
agency.
use an
and they'll hire
agency,
them
but
for you, and
you're
you'll pay
hiring
them
someone-
whatever they asked.
Yeah, if you're hiring somebody in the province, you can cut any kind of deal you want with them.
Right.
Right.
Well, I've like I say, that's something I got. I have to. I
Do
have
it
to
first
have
at least.
implemented for now.
Yeah, like I said, that's something
I
you
need
need to
some-
Good
do
morning,
first, 'cause-
Mildred.
I only have
Mildred.
three requirements from a woman.
Huh?
Three
What was that,
requirements.
Pete?
Basic- Three requirements. Coffee, dishes, don't kill me in my sleep. Do you think I'm going to find a Western woman that fits those three requirements?
Probably not. Of course, you'll have a problem with number 3 here in the Philippines.
You'll have
so.
trouble with. Yeah,
Yeah, it's all with all three in the
you'll have
West.
trouble all three in the West.
Yeah, all three in the West give you trouble.
Just put your insurance in my name. I promise I won't kill you in your sleep.
Yeah.
No,
All right, so one more thing. Listen, this has been fun. I appreciate all you guys showing up today, and Jack, I appreciate you being here as well. I hope we see you again. But let me before we bug out.
YouTube
Let me,
feed. I'm doing my live stream tomorrow if you want to pop in.
okay, we'll talk. We could pick it up maybe again tomorrow. I don't know. It's all up
There
to
you
you.
go.
Maybe you want to. Maybe you
Hey,
want to
look,
talk
we'll
about
you know me. Talk about anything we want.
except politics, right, Larry? Except
No
politics.
politics.
No politics.
But
Did
here,
I tell you the last two streams? All right, the last stream, no politics. The stream before politics.
yeah,
I had 53 people, I think, watched it, or 54 maybe. I think 54.
yeah.
My last stream, no politics, I had 53 thumbs up. Almost as many thumbs up as I had views the week that the politics went into the politics. So yeah, I want to keep.
Oh, you pay
out.
attention to stuff like that. You take a look at the numbers, huh?
Yes, I do. Like I said,
Yeah.
you know me. I only got like 400 and maybe 70.
Well, you'll wake up one morning and you'll end up
subscribers.
having 10,000 before you know it.
But I
But
don't
hey, I
care about
just wanted to mention we'll see Larry tomorrow at his usual time. I just wanted to mention that. Just wanted to
8
mention
o'clock
that.
Eastern.
Yeah,
8 o'clock
that
Eastern.
guys, about the contest. Don't forget about the contest if you came in late. So I'm looking for a new channel name. All you have to do is give me the channel name suggestion in the comment section. And then if I pick the name from, you put your name in there and you were the first one to do it, then I pick the name, then you will win 5,000 pesos that will be
And
sent.
Dan won't let me take part of it. Can you believe that? He
Yeah,
says I can't do it.
You probably wouldn't let me either.
that's
No, we're in the
5,000
States. He
pesos.
won't let us in the States. No.
Sent to your GCASH, but you could consult. I'll allow the consulting of anybody in the West, and so you can consult for a name, and then
Yeah, Tim, he didn't come in at all, Tim. So I don't
yeah,
know.
Larry can. Who's that? Who were we looking for?
Mac Daddy wasn't in the panel last week.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Mac Daddy. I think I've only seen Mac Daddy once or twice in my lives.
Well, he's been in mine most of the time. He's been on my
He's
panel
usually
most
on
of the time.
Larry's.
Yeah, I'd like. It would be fun. It would be fun to have Mac Daddy in on my live so we could talk. We could talk food. I love talking.
Yeah.
I love talking food with him.
I don't mind talking with Mac Daddy, but like
Yeah,
I
Mac
said,
Daddy is love talking
and
food.
sometimes veers into the politics, and that's out. It just kills my live stream. It really does. But yeah, like I said, I start at 8 o'clock Eastern time. That's because tomorrow and Sunday both I work 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening. So by the time I get home and get everything set up, it's close to 8. I was running late today getting into Dan's, although I was not too late because I was watching on the TV. I was cooking my supper for tonight and then Sunday. I had a beef stew tonight. I'll have chicken stew tomorrow. That was cooked the other day. I'll have beef stew again on Sunday. Oh, that's
All right, folks. Good. Don't forget, give me your suggestion for a channel name. Filipina Raquel Larice, Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and socialite. Des, beautiful seeing you at the pharmacy the other day. I just want to say hi again and hope to see you soon. I'm heading down for the Dunkin', and if you guys show up, coffee and donuts are on me. I hope my wallet is big enough to pay for the crowds of people that are going to be showing up there. So
I'm on my way, Dan. I'm on my way.
Yeah, me too.
Might take me a couple months to get there.
Oh, that's so fun to say. Larry, take us out of this live with your words of wisdom.
All right, everyone. Remember to be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, as always, try to have fun. Bye.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow on Larry's Live. Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Bye, everybody.